Is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. The all clear has been given for the Bahamas as all hurricane and tropical storm warnings have been lifted for the islands now as Nicole moves away after landfall in both Abaco and Grand Bahama. We've got the latest on the damage assessments and the way forward. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's there. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. 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 Wake up, wake up.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Thursday, November 10th, 2022. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Laverne Gardner will be joining us. Also this morning, we'll be talking with our twice-monthly segment with A Squared SBDC, the Access Accelerator. It's MSME month. They've got a lot happening. They'll tell us all about that this morning. Later in Morning Blend Business, we are talking with OKX Bahamas, the crypto exchange that has been formed as a digital asset business here. More about their business as the spotlight is shining on their industry. That's all straight ahead. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while you were sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, the all clear has been given for the entire northwest Bahamas now as Tropical Storm Nicole, which had become a hurricane while over Grand Bahama yesterday, is moving over central Florida, east central Florida at this hour. The all clear given as of 5 o'clock this morning. The hurricane warning for Grand Bahama, Abaco, and the Berry Islands discontinued, and the tropical storm warning for Bimini discontinued as well. As of 4 o'clock this morning, the center of Tropical Storm Nicole, located over central Florida, just about 150 miles northwest of Freeport in Grand Bahama. Nicole moving toward the west-northwest near 14 miles per hour with maximum sustained winds near 70 miles per hour now. Large swells generated by Nicole will continue to impact the coastal shores of the Bahamas for the next few days. The swells are likely to cause life-threatening surf and dangerous rip currents. And residents in the northwest Bahamas especially, advised to avoid coastal areas for the next few days. Showers and isolated thunderstorms with gusty winds expected to continue as well over portions of the northwest and central Bahamas through Friday. Residents being asked to refrain from going into flooded areas and into areas with fallen trees and downed power lines, and asked to exercise extreme caution if they must travel in these areas. But again, the all clear has been given for all of the Bahamas now. All the warnings have been lifted. Tropical Storm Nicole lashing Green Turtle Key yesterday as it made its way across northwest Bahamas. By 1 p.m., 50-year-old Eddie Bodie, a charter fisherman, had already started experiencing flooding in his neighborhood. You can read all about his nightmare in today's Nassau Guardian. Minister of State in the Office of the Prime Minister, Miles LaRota, said wind speeds on Abaco never rose above 43 miles per hour and gusts never exceeded 59 miles per hour, but power and water were off on the island. Grand Bahama, though, wasn't quite as lucky, according to NEMA, the National Emergency Management Agency. The winds definitely got higher than that, and power outages were reported in many areas. Meanwhile, images showing yesterday's impact of Nicole on Abaco and Grand Bahama, heartbreaking, according to Prime Minister Philip Davis, who is still in Egypt attending the COP27 conference. He says that he will prioritize assessing damage once he returns to the country. He says he's been talking to the Met Department, and they've been keeping him abreast. He said, quote, "I've been getting pictures from persons in New Providence showing the flooding. All of that is just breaking my heart." When asked about his priority upon return to the country, he said his first priority will be to assess the damage and address the normalization of what has been disrupted by the hurricane. Meanwhile, overseas, Russia's announced retreat from Kherson, a regional capital in southern Ukraine, that it seized early in the war, and a potential stalemate in fighting over the winter could provide both countries an opportunity to negotiate peace. That's according to the U.S. Army General Mark Milley, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. He said as many as 40,000 Ukrainian civilians and well over 100,000 Russian soldiers have been killed or wounded in the war, now in its 9th month. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky saying Tuesday he was open to peace talks with Russia to end the war, but only on the condition that Russia return all of Ukraine's occupied lands, provide compensation for war damage, and face prosecution for war crimes. Russia has said it's open to talks, and this week announced that it had begun a retreat from Kherson. Zelensky has warned that the Russians are feigning a pullout to lure the Ukrainian army into an entrenched battle in the strategic industrial port city, a gateway to the Russian-occupied Crimean Peninsula. Well, Milley, the highest-ranking U.S. military officer, said Russia has amassed 20,000 to 30,000 troops in Kherson, and a full retreat could take several weeks. And Kenya's parliament has approved the deployment of nearly 1,000 troops for a new regional force in eastern Congo, amid questions about the $37 million cost for the first 6 months of the mission. A Parliament committee report says the money will be spent on equipment, allowances, and operations for more than 900 troops joining the East African Community Regional Force that will support Congolese forces against armed groups. Opposition lawmakers questioning why Kenya is spending so much money on the regional mission as its own security issues. Kenya also facing rising inflation and a high public debt. Kenyan President William Ruto last week called the mission necessary and urgent for regional security. Violence by armed groups in eastern Congo has led to a diplomatic crisis between Congo and neighboring Rwanda, which accuse each other of backing certain groups. In sports, the Bahamas senior men's national basketball team game against Panama has been postponed to tomorrow at 8 p.m. at Kendall Isaac's gym. The FIBA, the International Basketball Federation Basketball World Cup America's qualifier game, was originally set for tonight, but FIBA had to postpone it due to the passage of Tropical Storm Nicole. The final roster has not been published as yet, but unlike the games in the summer, the Bahamas will be without NBA players Giovanna Buddy-Hield from the Indiana Pacers and Charlotte Hornets center forward Kai Jones. They'll also be without head coach Chris DeMarco, who was with the Golden State Warriors coaching staff. All three players are playing in their season and will be unavailable to travel for this game. The team will also play without NCAA Division I players Franco Miller Jr. and Garvin Clark Jr., who were a part of the previous squad. Their season got underway this past Monday as well. The game will be part of a 4-game schedule in the FIBA Americas WCQ. This is also the third window of the second round. The Bahamas will play Argentina on Sunday at the same venue. That game will start at 7:15. From overseas, U.S. President Joe Biden saying that he hopes Russian President Vladimir Putin will be more willing to negotiate the release of WNBA star Brittany Griner now that the U.S. midterm elections are over. Biden speaking hours after Griner's lawyers revealed that she's been sent to a penal colony to serve her sentence for drug possession. U.S. officials have for months tried to negotiate the release of Griner and another American jailed in Russia, Paul Whelan, but there have been no overt signs of progress. A diplomatic resolution has taken on new urgency after a Russian court rejected an appeal of her 9-year sentence last month. The 8-time All-Star center with the WNBA's Phoenix Mercury and 2-time Olympic gold medalist convicted August 4th after police say they found vape canisters containing cannabis oil in her luggage at Moscow's airport. And from the NBA, in the battle for Los Angeles, LeBron James scoring 30 points before leaving the court with pain in his left leg late in the Los Angeles Lakers' 114-101 loss to the LA Clippers Wednesday night. James felt discomfort in his leg and groin shortly after he backed down Paul George to draw a foul in the paint. With less than 5 minutes to play, James had sat out Monday's game at Utah to rest the persistent pain in his left foot. He was having one of his best games of the season before his latest physical setback. James said the injury doesn't feel as painful as his groin injury from Christmas 2018. During his first season with the Lakers, he missed a career-high 17 games with that injury. The Clippers are unbeaten in the city rivalry since July 2020 and still perfect against the Lakers under coach Tyronn Lue, who took over in October 2020. Anthony Davis had 21 points and 9 rebounds for the Lakers, who dropped to 2-9 with their 4th consecutive defeat. Russell Westbrook added 14 points and 9 assists, but the Lakers have the NBA's second worst record so far. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your first look at weather for today, trailing rain bands associated with now Tropical Storm Nicole moving inland across South Florida. Those are going to continue to swing through the northwest and central Bahamas today, while moderate to large northeasterly swells will continue to create hazardous marine and beaching conditions around the islands. Got several special warnings. Hurricane and tropical storm warnings have been discontinued for all of the islands, and the all clear has been given. However, boating and swimming not advised due to rough seas and dangerous rip currents. Stay out of the water, folks. Motorists and residents should also be alert and vigilant while traveling along north coastal roads due to overtopping waves. So, for today, for the northwest Bahamas, partly to occasionally cloudy and breezy with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms today through tonight. Small craft operators should still remain in port. Winds south to southwesterly at 15 to 25 knots and gusty at times. Seas 5 to 7 feet and building up to 10 feet in moderate to large northeasterly swells along Atlantic exposed shorelines. For the central and southeast Bahamas, variably cloudy and breezy with isolated showers and a thunderstorm or two today through tonight. Smoke active advisories in effect for the central Bahamas and a caution in effect for the southeastern islands. Wind south to southwest at 15 to 20 knots and gusty in the central islands, and southeast to south at 10 to 15 knots in the southeast Bahamas. Seas 5 to 7 feet in the central islands, but 3 to 5 feet in the southeastern Bahamas, all in moderate northeasterly swells, mainly along Atlantic exposed shorelines. It is about 79 degrees under mostly cloudy skies in Nassau right now. We're looking at highs getting up to around 86 Fahrenheit, 30 Celsius. Overnight lows getting down to about 74 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook and look at the tropics coming up after traffic in just a bit.
Wake up, it's a new day.
You are listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Wherever you're headed, the Custom Computers Know-How team is standing by to help guide you in the East and the West. We now have 2 convenient locations on Patton Street in Palmdale and our newest store in the Caves Village Shopping Plaza through the Blake Road entrance. Discover the latest products by top international brands and the knowledge you need to unleash tomorrow's technology today. Drop by Custom Computers out east or out west. We're open Saturdays from 10 till 4.
We know how important collecting your money can be to the success of your business. Start your relationship with Fidelity today so that we can show you the many options available to you with our merchant services. From click and pay options online to merchant terminals and e-commerce options. We're here to help your business succeed. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit any of our branches.
What if I told you that the future is here? That is not some magical door you walk through, but a place you create. It's home. It's a place where you can download 2-hour music in seconds and stay connected to loved ones, even when traveling far from home. Where internet moves at lightning speeds, smoother and more reliable than anything you've ever seen. This future-proof technology can take you to worlds that you can only imagine. The future is here. The future is home. The future is Alive Fiber.
Join Journey Rewards for free, and every purchase is another chance to win big monthly prizes, like a cruise for 2, plane tickets, free fuel, and so much more. Just scan, win, repeat. Fuel up or grab a snack or a drink at any Esso service station. Then scan the QR code to enter your purchase information. That's it. The more you enter, the more you can win. And win again. Journey Rewards. Scan, win, repeat. Free to join and easy to enter. Stop by an Esso service station and start winning today. The Esso brand is a trademark of ExxonMobil Corporation and is used under license.
I used to think of the bank as my personal ATM machine. If I wanted a new car, new furniture, a weekend trip to Miami, no problem. Just max out the credit card or top up my loan. I was a big baller until I realized that 75% of my salary was going to pay back all those loans. Fidelity's personal financial coaching was the best solution. Fidelity gave me a plan with a debt consolidation loan that has a built-in savings that pays 5% interest. I now only have one low monthly payment plus money in my pocket. Give Fidelity Bank a call at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit any of Fidelity's locations or visit a website at fidelitygroup.com.
We're good for you. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on your Guardian Radio app for your smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas, Channel 969, and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us 422-4796. Remember, standard text rates apply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Laverne Gardner will be joining us. You can join us too. We'll give you the phone numbers to call in just a bit. Coming up this morning, the latest on Nicole. The all clear has been given for all of the Bahamas now. All the warnings have been lifted as Nicole's now making its way across Florida. So we'll get the very latest on that. And later, we're going to be talking with A Squared SBDC. That's the Access Accelerator Small Business Development Center. Their twice monthly segment with us. We are going to get an update on MSME Month that's going on now. They've got a lot of events going on. We'll talk to them about that and more this morning. Later, we are going to be talking with OKX Bahamas, the crypto exchange. The industry therein is getting a lot of attention based on what we talked about yesterday, if you recall. And but they're going to tell us about their business and what they're doing and why you should still have some confidence in their sector. So that a lot more to get to this morning. I have a lot to talk about on this Thursday morning. We've got Laverne with us now. Laverne Gardner, good morning. Hi there, Laverne. You might be muted.
Hello, good morning. Can you hear me?
There we go. Yes, we can hear you now. How are you?
I'm good.
Now, our folks know that you are in Grand Bahama. You live in Grand Bahama, but you're not there, and you weren't there for Nicole. Thank goodness.
No.
But how's the family? How's everybody doing? What have you been hearing?
Well, so far so good. I spoke with family. I would say latest was last night, and where they were fine. They had some. They lived in the Freeport area, in Bahamia, and they'd experienced some wind and gusts and rain, but nothing major. No flooding in their area, and so that's always a good thing. I am reaching out as we speak to some more people to find out. So I'll be able to give you some more updates throughout the morning.
Yeah, I've been reaching out as well, and we're hoping to hear from folks in Grand Bahama and from Abaco about what they experienced overnight as Nicole's moving away. But let's talk about what you saw and felt during the last few hours. And seeing some pictures, I can't entirely verify that these are recent, but I got some images of what I'm being told is what was the airport. And, it looked like that during Dorian. Boy, if those are recent, good Lord.
Yes, I'm trying to verify. We probably have the same photo. I'm trying to verify if those are actual accurate photos.
Yeah,
for
it's a little hard to believe, right? Or is it just me?
Right,
It just can't
and
be.
it doesn't look, what I've seen, it doesn't look like, our hangar, but I'm trying to verify.
People tell me that the mobile, the trailer, that's a recent thing. That's since Dorian, and that's why they think it is recent. But obviously, this is just me. Obviously, this airport can't stay there. This cannot stay there. This doesn't make sense.
It's not just you.
Yeah, so I don't know why we're wasting time talking about that, right? That has to go. It did become a hurricane while over Grand Bahama, but that is insanity, if that is a recent picture. But hey, anyway, all right. So, you're reaching out, I'm reaching out. We're hoping to hear from folks. Call in, 323-6232, 325-4316. 325-4259. We've got to start the show. Let's talk about this. Of course, Nicole, is what's in the news. Okay, so if you're just tuning in, the all clear has been given for the entire Bahamas, but it's an all clear with an asterisk because, right? Slow down, folks. Slow down. The all clear has been given. All the warnings have been lifted for Grand Bahama, Abaco, Bimini, the Berry Islands, everything. Tropical storm warning, hurricane warning, all lifted. Nicole is over Florida now. But everybody's still being advised that we're going to still be feeling the outer bands from Nicole, and it's going to impact weather for at least the rest of the week. Large swells generated by Nicole will continue impacting the coastal shores of the islands for the next few days, and the swells are likely to cause life-threatening surf and dangerous rip currents. Therefore, residents in the northwest Bahamas should avoid coastal roads. Showers and isolated thunderstorms with gusty winds are likely to continue over portions of the northwest and central Bahamas through Friday. Department of Meteorology advising residents to stay away from flooded areas and in areas with fallen trees and downed power lines, and exercise caution if you must go into those areas. But the all clear has been given, but we're still expecting weather to be quite active over the next few days. Right? Now, Laverne, I hope you don't mind me talking all your business on the air, but you are in Florida, is that right?
I am in Florida, and no, I don't mind.
Okay. Are you in harm's way? Because this is heading up.
No, actually, I'm not. Where I am, we were supposed to get some of the outer bands, but so we've kind of been preparing for that. But can I tell you, the sun is shining. It's a beautiful day right now where I am.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, that's good. That's good. Good to hear that. So right now it's east central Florida and making its way up the coast, and they're expecting lots of rain and wind for Florida and even Georgia and the Carolinas over the next few days as Nicole treks up north along the eastern seaboard. Okay, so we do want to hear again from Grand Bahama, and call in 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us. While we do that, while we wait for that, take a listen to what was happening in Abaco yesterday and here in New Providence. As you know, we talked about that yesterday. The coastal roads, West Bay Street in particular, are seeing some wild waves, and that video went viral. That went all over the world. They were showing that on the U.S. television networks as well. What happened on West Bay Street near Saunders Beach here, but Abaco as well with flooding in the area. Take a listen to this report from our Jared Higgs.
As he stands out in the storm, Green Turtle Key resident Eddie Bodie gives us a view of the near hurricane conditions that bore down on Abaco beginning earlier today.
Okay, that's statement right now, 70 plus right now.
In Bodie's videos, widespread flooding and a dangerous storm surge can be seen. Bodie wades through nearly 2 feet of water as he decides his next moves.
Water, catch me to my knee, it's coming. So we gotta start coming, trying to get out of this area. Yeah.
Tropical storm Nicole passed over Abaco, packing winds of 70 miles per hour. Forecasters estimate 3 to 5 inches of rain over the northwest Bahamas with a maximum of 8 inches possible in some parts. Forecasters also still predict that Nicole will strengthen to a hurricane while in Bahamian waters. Over in Grand Bahama, conditions deteriorated as the afternoon wore on. Freeport resident, 27-year-old Trevor Bain, says he's riding out the storm in upstairs accommodations, and he understands why some of his fellow Grand Bahama residents are wary of the storm's potential impact.
I say I don't blame them. I don't blame them to be afraid, or because you never know. No one was really prepared for Dorian. Like, no one knew how Dorian was going to turn out. Like, we know it was going to be a hurricane, but the damage it did to the islands of Freeport and Abaco and wherever else, the damage, like, no one really was prepared for that. No one expected that, so...
New Providence, which was under a tropical storm warning for more than a day, didn't get much rain, but there was some wind. Rough seas resulted in waves crashing onto the shore, with the situation so bad along the northwestern shoreline that RBPF Press Liaison Officer Chief Superintendent Chrislyn Skippings announced the closure of some roads.
As we came out here this morning, we saw my trucks that were involved in the sand, as well as other vehicles that have been involved in the sand.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I am Jared Higgs.
Okay. Quite a lot of cleanup expected for Abaco and the Keys over the next few days there. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on Morning Blend.
Yes, hello. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Prayers go up for Abaco, Grand Bahama, and everyone affected by the storm. I pray that everyone's safe, no loss of life, and that we can, clean up and move forward with everything. I'm actually just calling about the roadway, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't really know that the coastal roadway on the West Bay Street headed out to Cable Beach and all that. I just want to see if anyone can get any confirmation on whether or not it's totally clear.
We haven't heard anything official, but I suspect it isn't. Again, the warning from the Met Office that was just a couple of hours ago, they're still saying avoid coastal roadways, especially along north shorelines. So if you don't have to be on West Bay Street today, don't go on West Bay Street today. There's very unlikely they managed to clean that up already.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Yeah, I would avoid that if you can. If you live out there, I don't know what you're going to do. Good luck to you. But if you don't have to, avoid the north coastlines of all the islands, we're being told. And any coastal road, really. But especially north coastlines. So, thanks, caller. Appreciate it. All right. So, yesterday we got word that all schools will be open today for New Providence. And it's easy if I say this. All schools except for Grand Bahama, Abaco, the Berry Islands, and Bimini. Right? And the banks are going to be open again. But it's Grand Bahama, Abaco, the Berry Islands, and possibly Bimini. They're going to be seeing issues today. But schools, most businesses will return to normal today. But avoid the streets, the coastal roads. Yeah. All right, so 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Now, Laverne, I don't know if you're having the same issues I'm having. It seems like some people aren't answering. I don't know if there's an issue with phones or I know the power was out for Grand Bahama for some portions yesterday. But are you having any issues like that this morning? Laverne, did we lose Laverne?
You hear me?
Yeah, now we can. Yep.
Yes. I am having some issues, so I'm continuing to reach out just to see.
Yeah, okay. All right. So while that's going on, we heard from Prime Minister Davis, who is in Egypt attending the COP27 conference, our Jasper Ward writing about it. Images showing yesterday's impact of Tropical Storm Nicole on Abaco and Grand Bahama were heartbreaking, said Prime Minister Philip Davis, adding that he will prioritize assessing damage once he returns to the country from COP27. He said in a video message from Sharm el Sheikh, quote, "I'm talking to the Met Department and they've been keeping me abreast. I've been getting pictures from persons in New Providence showing the flooding. All of that is just breaking my heart as I speak." When asked about his priority upon return to the Bahamas, Davis replied, quote, "First priority is to assess, to get an update on what's going on and address the normalization of what has been disrupted by this hurricane." Nicole impacted Abaco throughout the day yesterday. There were reports of storm surge around 4 feet north of Treasure Key by 9 a.m. Flooding reported throughout areas like Green Turtle Key, where some residents reported at least 2 feet of water entering their homes. Grand Bahama did not start experiencing the effects of the storm until later in the evening, but of course by then it became a Category 1 storm. And the Prime Minister saying, quote, "Remember that the Lord is not going to put on us more than we can bear. I understand the trauma that you are undergoing now, the recoil that you would be having after Dorian with his visiting of Nicole. Just please stay safe, adhere to the warnings." Prime Minister thanked Deputy Prime Minister and Acting Prime Minister Chester Cooper for his efforts to ensure that residents were alerted about the storm and were able to take necessary action to ensure that no lives were lost and that minimal damage was caused. He said, quote, "You must remember this is our new reality. We must become accustomed to events such as this. That's why we are here, making the point that we can't do it alone and that our new reality is not as a result of what we would have done, but what the industrialized world would have done. And therefore, we must come to the rescue of small island developing states such as ours." Okay. Let me read that one more time. "We must become accustomed to events such as this. That's why we are here, making the point that we can't do it alone and that our new reality is not as a result of what we would have done, but what the industrialized world would have done, and therefore we must come to the rescue. They must come to the rescue of small island developing states such as ours."
Yes, I guess he's speaking in regards to climate change.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Text us, folks, 422-4796, 422-4796, and tweet us, Facebook us as well. Call in. Another question about the roads. Are the roads opened as yet? I do not know as yet. And like we said, even if they do remove the barriers that were put up yesterday, you're being advised that it's still going to be a dangerous situation. Still going to be dangerous. It's still going to be rough surf. Still going to be overtopping waves. And that if you don't need to go on West Bay Street, don't go on West Bay Street. Barriers or not. Right? Okay. All right. Yeah. Another one here. Why are people referencing not knowing what to expect in Dorian when a tropical storm with 70 miles per hour is over them? It's like people are completely incapable of separating what they experienced in the past from the present. Someone explained to me that as a mental health issue, that is a mental health issue addressed by practicing mindfulness, looking at what's actually happening now and recognizing that this situation is different and requires a different response. Well, I mean, okay, well, people have to cope.
That would be true, but we also have to recognize that there are people who have been traumatized because of Dorian, and for whatever reason, they were not able to get the kind of help, mental help, that they need to process what they've experienced. And so, it's difficult for them to be able to look at it perhaps the way the texter is saying, right?
Yeah.
So we have to recognize that people are still traumatized. I know of people who go into full-out panic to this day if it rains too hard in Grand Bahama.
Wow.
And so, and we could sit and say, this is what they need to do, but the reality is they may not have the tools to be able to do that. and it was nothing really available for them to be able to process that. It became just trying to pick up the pieces and move on, but still carrying the weight of what happened with Dorian.
Absolutely. Okay, but Texter, yeah, I think you're being a little harsh. Just let people cope the way they can. They went on to say 2 feet of water is much different from 20 feet. This is a moment not to fear, but to rejoice. Well, okay. I hear you.
Yeah, it's like you say, sometimes we make statements from our point of view, not recognizing that people, to them, 2 feet is 20 feet.
Yeah, exactly.
The reality is no, it isn't actually, but after what they've experienced, 2 feet is like 20 feet. So,
indeed.
So I would say text to offer people grace.
Okay, this text here, patiently waiting on the condescending comments after that statement. Which one? Which one? Which statement?
Sorry?
And from whom? From me?
What did we miss?
They're patiently waiting on the condescending comments, Dwight, after that statement. Which statement? This is about who? About what the Prime Minister said? Or on whose part? Huh? All right. This one says, I work for a company near Sandyport that would have us come to work during the rapture, and they asked us to stay home today. I can only imagine nothing can pass some parts on West Bay Street for this to happen. Oh, boy. Well, there you go. There you go. Right? Especially if you're in a little tiny hatchback. Don't do it. Don't do it. If you don't need to be on West Bay Street, don't go, whether the barriers and the barricades are moved or not. Don't do it. Okay, you've been warned now 3 times. Anyway. Yeah. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. And we just talked about this, Laverne. There's a story in the National Guardian today about how Nicole triggered trauma from memories of Dorian. Bringing up those memories. There's a whole story on that from people on Abaco, what they experienced and how this is reminding them. This is, I think, the first direct impact since Dorian, right? And I can imagine how challenging that has been. Yeah. All right, so we're going to take a break. When we come back, hopefully we will finally get contact with Grand Bahama and see what folks are saying there. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's there. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
It's the most rewarding time of the year. Come down to RBC. Get a loan to buy whatever. RBC makes it better. Get a loan and don't pay till New Year.
Make Christmas what you want it to be with a personal loan from RBC. Apply at rbc.com/Caribbean/loan and don't pay till February 2023. Conditions apply.
Get a loan and don't pay till New Year. To RBC.
It's time for your first look at traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC. This Christmas, apply for an RBC personal loan at rbc.com/Caribbean/loan. As we've been telling you, the advisory is for all motorists to avoid traveling along north coastal roads due to overtopping waves. So keep that in mind. If you don't need to be on West Bay Street in particular, avoid West Bay Street. It's still going to be a dangerous trek for you this morning. In your real-time traffic, as people are expected back at school and work today, we are seeing some heavy traffic as usual, back to the regular pattern from Milo Butler Highway, from Fire Trail all the way to Tonic Williams Darling Highway. That's the northbound lanes there. Gladstone Road also busy for you just north of Fire Trail all the way up to JFK Drive. You'll see that northbound this morning. Also, Eastern Road looking busy for you just east of Fox Hill Road to about Johnson Road westbound. And then pockets along Prince Charles Drive at the major intersections like Beatrice Avenue and Fox Hill. In fact, Fox Hill Road northbound to that intersection with Prince Charles Drive looking very busy for you. And Prince Charles near Elizabeth Estates also seeing some congestion this hour. Growing building traffic on Blue Hill Road near St. Vincent Road and near Carmichael Road, and East Street just north and south of the Soldier Road intersection, especially northbound this morning. That's what we're looking at so far. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert. Avoid, again, coastal roads, especially on the northern side of New Providence this morning. Morning Blend Traffic brought to you by RBC. Get a loan with RBC and don't pay until February 2023. .26 the time for another check of your weather for today. Trailing rain bands associated with now Tropical Storm Nicole moving inland across South Florida and will continue to swing through the northwest and central Bahamas today, while moderate to large northeasterly swells continue to create hazardous marine and beaching conditions around the islands. Special warnings. We've got hurricane and tropical storm warnings. They've been discontinued for the entire Bahamas and the all clear has been given. However, boating and swimming still not advised due to rough surf, rough seas, and rip currents. Motorists and residents, again, should be extra careful if you must travel along north coastal roads, as we're expecting overtopping waves to continue today for at least the next couple of days. So for the northwest Bahamas, your forecast calls for partly to occasionally cloudy and breezy conditions with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms today through tonight. Small craft operators should remain in port. For the central and southeast Bahamas, variably cloudy and breezy with isolated showers and a thunderstorm or two through tonight. Small craft advisory in effect for the central Bahamas and a caution in effect for the southeast Bahamas. Temperatures today getting up to around 86 Fahrenheit, 30 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 74 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. In your extended outlook, trailing moisture associated with the remnants of Nicole will continue to generate showers and thunderstorms across the islands, while winds continue to relax as we head into the weekend. So for Friday, tomorrow, look for a mix of sun and clouds with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms during the day, mainly fair at night with isolated showers possible. Small craft advised to use caution. For Saturday, partly sunny and warm with isolated showers and thunderstorms, mainly fair at night with a stray shower or two possible. We'll have the very latest on Nicole making its way across Florida coming up in our next weather check after the 8 o'clock news.
Breakfast just got better at Wendy's. Introducing the Breakfast Biggie Bag. Enjoy a double sausage muffin with 2 square sausage patties, a freshly cracked egg, and cheese served on a toasted English muffin, a medium waffle fries, and an orange juice for only $5.25, VAT inclusive. And an apple pie for just $1 more.
Say what?
At Wendy's, better breakfast is all day. Offers valid in participating locations. Wendy's, different inside and out.
I just link up with this beautiful young lady, and she says she in love with me.
She say even my internet making sense. When she come over, she say my signal strong, my movies ain't glitching, and when she use her computer, everything was smooth. The only problem is, I let her meet me by my boy house that day, and he got that BTC fiber internet speed bump.
Current fiber internet bundle customers now have as much as 3 times the speed. Totally free. Link up with BTC. Link up.
If you were exposed to COVID-19, have symptoms, or traveled recently, get tested so that you can have peace of mind about your status. Just visit one of our convenient locations on New Providence at the University of the Bahamas or Golden Gates Plaza, weekdays 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. On Eleuthera at the 3 Island Dock, Mondays through Thursdays 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., Fridays and Saturdays 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Sundays 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. On Exuma at the Regatta Park, weekdays 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., Saturdays 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Sundays 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. On Abaco at Maxwell Food Store, Mondays through Saturdays 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. The COVID-19 test results will be ready in 15 minutes, and the tests are free.
This message is brought to you by PAHO WHO and the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Florida Auto Parts can deliver all the auto parts your car will ever need, direct from the USA and from around the world. Florida Auto Parts provides fast delivery on auto parts, and we ship throughout the Bahamas, genuine or aftermarket, new or used, and all for the best price. Call Florida Auto Parts Trusted Parts Rep on WhatsApp at 1-786-772-8777 to save on your next auto parts purchase. Florida Auto Parts, the right parts at the right price.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
We know how important collecting your money can be to the success of your business. Start your relationship with Fidelity today so that we can show you the many options available to you with our merchant services. From click and pay options online to merchant terminals and e-commerce options. We're here to help your business succeed. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit any of our branches.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and carved body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
If you're into great tasting chips, you know Frito-Lay has got you covered with your favorite flavors like Original Lay's, Doritos, Cheetos, Funyuns, and much, much more. Well, not only can you enjoy your favorite chips at a great price, you can also enter the Frito-Lay Scooter Giveaway and win one of 5 Yamaha Kryptonite scooters. Check your favorite grocery stores for details or go to iwbahamas.com. The Frito-Lay Scooter Giveaway ends December 16th and is brought to you by Island Wholesale. Don't miss out.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner on this Thursday morning. This is the morning after Nicole, and we are trying to hear from folks in Grand Bahama. Joining us now, we have Anjanette Bartlett, who's in Grand Bahama. Good morning, Anjanette. Great to have you with us.
Good morning. It's great to be here.
All right, which part of the island are you in?
I am in the downtown area,
Okay.
just at the back of North Bohemia.
Okay. So explain us what you experienced yesterday. What was that like? What did you see? What did you feel?
First off, let me just say I am horrified of hurricanes since Francis and Jean. So that has changed everything for me.
My goodness.
And Dorian need not to even, get into that because it's horrible. But yesterday, the winds were fierce, like really, really, really fierce. I don't know the last time I've experienced a tropical storm, but that didn't feel like a tropical storm. It actually did feel like a real full-on hurricane, maybe one, a little bit more than a one. It was horrible.
Yeah. Well, at some point, it did become a one over Grand Bahama. So, yeah, you're right.
Yes, Dwight, it was terrible. I was so happy to wake up this morning to trees still intact and things pretty much looking okay for where I am. But my heart goes out to those who have gone through Dorian in its worst state, because yesterday would have seemed as if you were going through the same thing. It was just horrible.
Oh, boy. Wow. Did you lose power? I know some people in some parts of the island did.
Thankfully, my power stayed on. I may have dipped like 3 or 4 times for literally a few seconds. So I didn't lose power. I know that I have family in the western end of the island, and they lost power, I think, the night before, and came on for a few minutes, and then it was off, I think, pretty much all day yesterday. But I was lucky enough to have power the entire time.
Right. Have you had a chance to get out and see, assess the island to see what's what?
Dwight, I am not one of those people.
Okay.
The wind is crazy, and for people to be out there, I am not one of those people who's going to go out there and need somebody to come and rescue me. It's just too dangerous. The winds are too fierce, and it's just not safe to be out there.
Still, right
but from
now,
where I am, it looks great.
Still fierce right now. That's what you're saying.
No, we have a few gusts right now, but it's not as bad. Obviously, because the storm has passed away. There's just a few wind gusts, and as the morning, comes on, it's getting less and less, of course, as the storm, goes further away from us.
Yeah, wow. Have you spoken to anybody else? Have you heard what others are saying?
Just talking to some family members. I have a friend in Abaco as well. Last night I was communicating with them. Also, I have some friends who from the eastern end of the island yesterday connected with them, and they did. They learned from Dorian, they said, and they just evacuated. My family is from the Hawksbill area, and Hawksbill is usually underwater. They were safe yesterday. There was no water, of course, just heavy winds, and didn't see the need to put shutters on the windows. I have people in other areas of the island, more centrally located, that said that they were okay. So yesterday pretty much panned out well for us in Grand Bahama.
That is wonderful. Good to hear.
Yeah.
Stay with us, please, Anjanette Bartlett. We'll come back to you in a bit. Sarah Kirkby is joining us now. Sarah, good morning.
Hi, good morning. I want to say hi to my friend Annie. I love her. She's fantastic who you're speaking to.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right. So which area are you in, and what did you experience, Sarah?
So I'm in the Lucaya area, which is, down towards more of the east of the Freeport City Center. I did okay. I totally agree with her on it's very hard going into these things now. It's really different. When I was younger, I used to go into hurricanes and be like, oh, it's great. Board up the house, can have fun, no school or no work. Now you go in with such trepidation. For me, for Annie, it was obviously Francis and Jean. For me, it was Dorian. I swam out in Dorian. So it just terrifies you. And I don't know whether it makes you less compliant to do things because you're just like, I can't be bothered because your head just can't get back into it. Or you're like more compliant. I don't know. The PTSD is really real, and people talk about it a lot. And I know a lot of people were going through it yesterday. It's just flashback and memory. So that was kind of the yucky part for me yesterday. Weather-wise, we did okay. It's gusting. They were big gusts. We didn't really feel it, I felt, till about 2 o'clock. The power dipped in a couple of times. We were out from 7:30 at night, I think when the eye was coming over. But we did okay. I mean, my garden usually floods, and we didn't have any of that at the time. So it was less rain, which was really good.
Right.
I think more of it was the surges, and that's where you could see in Grand Bahama, the bridge that passes between 8 Mile Rock to get into Freeport. That was flooded, which always floods, but that went quite quickly. And there was flooding at the airport, but I believe it was to the left side. So hopefully it hasn't affected the new FPO terminal that they're using. So, you know, we desperately need a new airport anyhow.
Right. Laverne and I were talking about that earlier. Some photos are going around saying that this is from Nicole. It seems hard to believe that it is. It looks like it's Dorian, how deep the water is, but this is supposedly the airport. Do you know if that is accurate?
I haven't seen it, but I know all the roads are clear. The sanitation services trucks. I went out this morning to go walk my dogs, and the beach is rough, but the sun is coming out. So it's just these gusts are still coming. These little bands are still coming. And we did get rained on just a little bit, but the streets are pretty clear. There's just debris from trees and stuff that have fallen down, but nothing major. There was only one big tree I know that fell down on East Sunrise Highway, because we're all in these WhatsApp groups now, so everybody can tell you what's going on. There's power is limited in some areas. I know they've had issues. I don't know I know West End was definitely flooded, so I don't know what's happening there. That was their main street, but that's quite normal, and they were getting the brunt from the second side after the eye. I know that. But the water they were worried about the water, but the water's all back on as far as I can see. They had a couple issues with some generators that might have not gone on, or some of them don't have them in the smaller areas, but the water seems to be back. The pressure's even back as well for me. But there's limited spaces without power that I can see from the chat groups that I'm in.
Yeah. And Angela, you can jump in as well. But have you heard whether things are going to be reopening today? Who makes the call there? And what do you know?
I would think everything's opening. It's fine. There's no rain. I mean, it's just a limit. It looks like just a regular gloomy day of bad weather. So I think everything will be fine to be open today. Looks like people are driving around. The gas station was open when I drove by. So I would think everything's back to normal. I think Ministry of Education put something out yesterday that said we're all good to go back. And I've had lots of texts from Commonwealth Bank, so it looks like they're open. So I feel like I think we got very lucky with this one. And it's just a harsh reminder of, island living.
Yeah. Well, I'm not too sure about the Ministry of Education. What they said was everybody except for Grand Bahama, Abaco, and the Berries, maybe Bimini. But we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll get the updated news from them soon, I'm sure. I think Darren Cooper is joining us now. Not yet? Nope. Okay. All right. So to folks, you both mentioned it already, the PTSD who are, we had a texter earlier who was saying, they don't understand why someone would bring up, this is somebody in Abaco who was bringing up Dorian, but you just can't get over it, right? That's just no matter, even if it is just, as Laverne said, a little thunder, some rain, even that can trigger some of those feelings.
It does. It brings it all back for me.
Indeed, Dwight. It brings it all back for me as well. I stayed at the time of Dorian, funny enough. Hey, Sarah.
Hey,
I stayed just down the street from Sarah was where I was living, and we do not live near the water.
No.
Somebody told me that. I don't know if Sarah can just validate this. We were like maybe 9 to 10 miles in from the nearest body of water from the northern side of the island. Maybe, I don't know. But water came in the house, Dwight, up to, let's say, maybe 3 to 4 feet. And you literally, I guess with the king tide, you literally saw water coming in through the sockets, through the electrical sockets, through the ground. And so when you see something like that, you realize that, listen, the little bit of control you thought you had by putting up shutters, it's all gone. So that is traumatizing.
Wow.
It is. And you know what, last time I didn't I had told everybody to pack their bags and be ready with your to-go kit. And I hadn't packed mine. I was too busy chatting and talking to people and like all these other radio stations and that had called in. And I was actually on the phone with the New York Times and I'm going, yeah, it doesn't look so bad. It's kind of really, the garden's full, but I think we're going to be okay. And that's when that surge came, Annie, that was huge. And it was. We are very much in the middle of the island, and it would never be expected that the water would come from the north side. I always expected it would come from the south, and it came in. And Dwight, when it comes in fast, and it is scary. And it is just, my house went under in a matter of 15 minutes, and you never lose that in your head. And I was ready this time with a bag just in case, even though we weren't even at a Cat 1, it just gets in your head and it scares you.
Yeah. All right. Darren is joining us now. Darren Cooper, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning to all of you. Sarah, it's good to hear your voice. Know that you weathered the storm well. Dwight, I am grateful to be alive and to be able to move around this beautiful island of Grand Bahama.
Which part do you live in? Where are you?
I'm in South Bahamia. I'm pretty much not far from water, but more on the highland of South Bahamia.
Mm-hmm. So what did you experience yesterday? How was it for you?
Yesterday, the little time that I spent at home was pretty good. We lost power in my area about 7:20 p.m. last night. So we had power all throughout the day. All of our regular amenities were up and running, water, and the internet and everything. My family, my wife and kids were fine. They weren't even aware of what was going on the outside because they had the regular inside life going on. And so we fared well. I don't even see any down branches in our area. Okay. Some persons pulled their shutters across, but we in the area in which I live, we never, I think, go all out. Well, my neighbors don't go all out in preparing because they have this comfort that we got a buffer and we be fine. But we fared pretty well in South Bahamia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know if you know anything. We were talking about this earlier. We're trying to verify whether the photo we saw with flooding at the airport is from Nicole or if that's from Dorian. Do you know if there were any issues there?
I can confirm that the airport had flooding. I was at the airport when water was on the airport. Some of those modular trailers that they would have spot for the customs workers, they were floating around at the international airport. I don't think that the actual terminal or been drastically impacted. If it was, probably a few inches on the floor, but water was on the airport and the runway was covered, and water even down to the old terminal was flooding up as well. And so I was there. And so I can confirm that happened.
Okay, well, that is terrifying. That photo wasn't pleasant looking at all. And so that airport, you're right, something has to be done urgently.
Well, Dwight, just to say this, that, the part of the airport that always floods are usually that low-lying area. But, we've continued, business owners and residents continue to suggest that right where we have our taxi stand, the old taxi stand, stationary, called the Hill. Mm-hmm. I have a business right beyond the hill of the taxi stand, and it's never flooded in its history of flooding. So yes, there's many things that needs to be looked at, but we hope that eventually they will get it together.
Yeah. Wow. So what's next? We picking up the pieces. The season is coming to an end. Are we? Where do we go from here? Seeing as these things are so unpredictable.
I don't know where do we go because Grand Bahama falls we're in a hurricane belt. And it's something that we will live with. We can't pick up Grand Bahama and relocate it. I think we need to put good mechanisms and systems in place to be able to better manage this system. We need to look at low-lying areas that have big concern and learn from that. Our airport should be considered being built up higher. We have a causeway at the Fishing Hole Road that should have been redesigned and reconstructed more for a bridge and not a causeway, because the causeway, in my understanding, would have been for you to be able to pass during any disaster. And we're still fighting or still going through this problem of having to close the road because the bridge is fine, but the entrance point on the Freeport side continues to flood. And so hopefully we would look at that and better design what we do and how we do things. I think that's the best way I could put it, to say how do we move forward from here. I think areas that we were concerned about that may have flooded during Dorian fared very well. These areas that flood are areas that we know, known flooding. The areas that we expected to flood because of Dorian didn't flood. And so we knew that Dorian was different. And so, I don't think the whole island, like we thought, because many persons evacuated from their homes in the city of Freeport. Many hotels were fully occupied because of the fear of Dorian being in the cold.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think we accepted, Dwight. I think we need to go forward and using terms that are out there a lot more now. We need more resilient homes. We need to look where we're building. If we're building in places that might be flooded, we need to build up. Houses on stilts. We need to look at sustainable homes. It's not going to change. Grand Bahama is always going to be in its way. So is Abaco. And look at Nassau. I was talking to a friend of mine, and they're like, well, how come Nassau doesn't get up? I mean, the pirates were the smart ones. They knew where to live. They lived in Nassau because it was protected by the outer islands. But being in one of these outer islands, we still have a little bit different from you. We have more space, different beaches. So we just have to be smarter in building it. Our airport the water will recede. I know part of the resiliency plan for the airport will be that the people that are coming into the airport have to have a plan for to mediate any water that would come in there. So it's got to be part of the plan of what we do for Grand Bahama. So I hope the powers that be that make those decisions, that's all incorporated in it. They know what they're dealing with now, so they can look at it and hopefully build it in a smarter, more practical way.
Yeah. Final words, Anjanette Bartlett. As Nicole moves on and we try to get back to normal, what say you?
Hi. I think when it comes to just being safe, making the common sense decision to adhere to the safety protocols, as some of my persons who I connected with, like I mentioned earlier, they didn't take any chances, move away. Because as Darren said, we are in the hurricane belt. There's nothing we can do about it. And while we need to change our building codes or ensure that our homes are built structurally sound to withstand these storms, there are those of us who already have existing homes that there's nothing we can do about it except to reinforce our windows, our doors, etc. But evacuate if it calls for it. Yeah. Just be safe.
Yeah. Sarah, Darren?
I would encourage Grand Bahamians to continue to stick your chest out, keep your head up. We've been built. We've not been built for this, but we've adapted to it. And I think that once we continue to make wise and right decisions for ourselves, we would eventually force those who have the power of making some decisions to make right and wise decisions moving forward. Gone are the days when we refurbish things that have been year after year, hurricane after hurricane being impacted. And so I think we fared well. Many businesses throughout Grand Bahama are now getting back to a sense of normalcy today. And so I'm very proud of the residents of Grand Bahama because they took this particular one a bit more serious than all of the other ones. And so let's continue to work together for the betterment of an island that we call home and that we love.
I would totally agree. I was so proud of everybody. Normally, we all get a bit lackadaisical of hurricanes and sometimes, but after Dorian and after Francis and Jean, we've all become a little bit different now. We're good at the prep. And I was really proud of everybody. Everybody was getting gas. The supermarkets were full. Everybody prepped really well. So, but we're a strong island and we're resilient. And I think, we came through this one really well. We're very blessed. And thank God was keeping an eye on us. And hopefully he will continue to do so. And, Grand Bahama has some good things coming down the pipeline. Let's just hope we can get this place back on track.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, we talked about this earlier, Sarah. So the Ministry of Education yesterday said that the schools and offices in Grand Bahama, Abaco, Berry Islands, and Bimini will remain closed until NEMA gives the all clear for those islands. And that has happened now. So they've given the all clear. So one would assume that means that the schools are open on Grand Bahama today. So kids, get ready for school.
I'll be so excited to go back.
I don't think that schools, many schools are open in Grand Bahama because they're used for hurricane shelters. Yeah. And so I think today would be an assessment day for schools, for many schools, making sure that their facilities went through fared well, and then also clearing out those facilities from and being able to get them prepped back for school. I would probably say by tomorrow we should be fully back to school being open.
Yeah, that does sound more reasonable there. Absolutely. But anyway, thank you all. Glad to hear that you all made it through okay and that it seems like the island is fine. But thank you for talking with us this morning. Anjanette Bartlett, Sarah Kirkby, and Darren Cooper. Thank you again.
Thank you, Dwight.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Folks, continue to call in 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. We've got a few of your text messages here, Laverne. Somebody says here, first of all, let me give God thanks for sparing all of our lives. I agree with the Prime Minister with the statement on the effect of climate change as it relates to these industrialized nations. But let Philip Brave Davis know I have seen major clearing of land to build houses being done on wetlands since his government won in 2021. Tell him stop his cronies from clearing wetlands to build houses for increased voters, I guess, for the PLP. Then I will take him seriously. Okay. Okay. This person says here, this is the text earlier about the Dorian and talking about it. I'm not saying I don't understand PTSD. I'm saying the way to help people with PTSD is to not enable them by saying their fear is rational. The way to help is to say, yes, that terrible thing happened in the past, but let's see how the situation is different. Based on the difference, what should we do? Having the second highest official in the country tell citizens prepare for the worst when the worst is 20 foot of water is the equivalent of psychological abuse.
I disagree. I'll just leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. Again, sometimes we speak from our own experiences and our own capabilities. And what I do know is you have to first meet people where they're at. And so I know for me, my approach wouldn't be that your fear is irrational. What I think we do is allow people to talk through their fears, to say what they are experiencing, because what they are experiencing is their reality, and work from there. But again, everybody has their different point of view. I think that's the best way I can say it.
Yeah. And of course, everyone should prepare. These things are very unpredictable. They can rapidly intensify from a category 1 to 3 in just a matter of hours. You should be prepared for the worst. You should. It doesn't mean that you have to freak out or carry on, but just always be prepared that things could change on a dime, right?
Yeah, and I think perhaps the Deputy Prime Minister used that term just so that we can have a sense of urgency, because like Sarah said, and as Bahamians, we know that we tend to be lax. sometimes during storms, you know. For those of us who in Grand Bahama and Abaco, we may be a little bit more alert now and a little bit more sensitive. But, you know, Dwight, we be like, you think it coming? Man, that ain't coming, man. You really think so? What they saying? No, man, not gonna. And so probably his use of words was just so that people don't be lax. And then if something had happened, God forbid, that it did increase or it changed course and it was gonna have whatever, that people would be more prepared.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going to take a break for news and be back with more after the break. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Everybody's out there on the dock. They're doing what we call Bahama Rock. Yeah. Oh yeah, Bahama Rock. Lots of people from all around the other islands and Nassau town. They get together to do their thing. How they dance and sing like a superstar. We're gonna give it to our man on their guitar. Oh yeah,
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. And now at 8:19, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. Here's what's happening. As we've told you, the all clear has been given for the entire Bahamas. All the warnings have been lifted, hurricane warnings and tropical storm warnings for all the islands. But that doesn't mean that the weather conditions will be all clear necessarily. So we've still got the trailing rain bands associated with now tropical storm Nicole, which is moving inland across Florida, now near central Florida. That's going to continue to swing through the northwest and central Bahamas, the trailing rain bands. And that's going to mean moderate to large northeasterly swells will continue to create hazardous marine and beaching conditions across the islands. So, while those warnings have been discontinued, boating and swimming not advised due to rough seas and dangerous rip currents, and motorists and residents should remain alert while traveling along north coastal roads due to overtopping waves. For today, your forecast for the northwest Bahamas calls for partly to occasionally cloudy and breezy conditions with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. Today through tonight, smoke-craft operators should remain in port. For the central and southeast Bahamas, variably cloudy and breezy with isolated showers and a thunderstorm or two today through tonight. Smoke-craft advisory in effect for the central Bahamas and a caution in effect for the southeast Bahamas. Temperatures getting up to around 86 Fahrenheit, 30 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down about 74 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. In your extended outlook, trailing moisture associated with the remnants of Nicole will continue to generate showers and thunderstorms across the islands, while winds continue to relax into the weekend. So for Friday, We're expecting a mix of sun and clouds with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms during the day, mainly fair at night with isolated showers possible. Small craft should use caution. For Saturday, partly sunny and warm with isolated showers and thunderstorms, mainly fair at night with a stray shower or two possible. In the tropics, well, Nicole is moving now over central Florida. Still a tropical storm at this hour. Elsewhere in the tropics, tropical cyclone formation not expected over the next 5 days. So that's what we're seeing. That's your morning blend weather check brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. Still the first and only local company and agency network that lets you buy car and home insurance 100% online. Try it at bahamasfirst.com. .22, time for another check of traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC. There's Christmas supply for an RBC personal loan at rbc.com/Caribbean/loan. And in your real-time traffic, again, the warning from the Department of Meteorology to avoid traveling along coastal roadways, especially north coastal roads, as we're expecting overtopping waves. It's still unclear whether some of the barriers, barricades that were put up yesterday, whether they've been fully moved as yet. But if you don't need to be on areas like West Bay Street, then don't do it. Try to find an interior road. So at this hour, we can see that there is definitely heavier traffic flow on West Bay Street than you normally see. So that's a sign that there could be still some issues out there. So you definitely want to avoid that area. So we're talking about Delaport and Orange Hill and west of that area. And especially Saunders Beach, we're seeing lots of issues yesterday. So keep that in mind if you're in that area, but avoid it if you can. Elsewhere, we're seeing heavy traffic near the six-legged roundabout in multiple directions, eastbound on JFK Drive, southbound on New Providence Highway, northbound on Milo Butler Highway, and further south, Milo Butler Highway, seeing heavy traffic from well south of Fire Trail Road all the way up to Tawny Williams-Darling Highway, and the roundabout at Tawny Williams-Darling Highway is backed up in both directions, east and westbound there, especially eastbound. And Gladstone Road also busy for you this morning, northbound from well south of Fire Trail up to JFK Drive. Carmichael westbound seeing some heavy traffic to Coral Harbor Road, and eastbound building traffic to Blue Hill Road, which is seeing heavy traffic from St. Vincent all the way up to Independence Drive, especially north of Carmichael, north of Soldier Road in the northbound lanes there. Independence Drive backed up both directions, west and eastbound. Heavy traffic there this morning. And Prince Charles Drive is going to be busy for you as you approach many of the major intersections there. So we're talking Soldier Road, as it becomes Robinson Road, heavy traffic from Soldier to Old Trail, westbound this morning. Prince Charles Drive on the way to Beatrice Avenue, seeing heavy traffic there, and near Fox Hill Road as well. Eastern Road busy for you from just east of Fox Hill to Johnson, and still busy as you make your way to Village Road and Soldier. Village, still an area you want to avoid, but busy this morning. So multiple directions, north and southbound, and Soldier Road northbound to that intersection with Bernard, Wolf, and Village. Busy for you. Bernard Road also seeing heavy traffic near the school. So a lot of traffic issues out there. Schools are back in session, and everyone's heading back to work. So keep that in mind this morning as you make your way about. And be safe. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC. Get a loan with RBC and don't pay until February 2023.
It's the most rewarding time of the year. Come down to RBC. Get a loan to buy whatever. RBC makes it better. Get a loan and don't pay till New Year.
Make Christmas what you want it to be with a personal loan from RBC. Apply at rbc.com/Caribbean/loan and don't pay till February 2023. Conditions apply.
Get a loan and don't pay till New Year. To RBC.
It's been 35 years since Custom Computers was founded, and we'd like to celebrate that milestone by thanking you, our clients and customers. You've inspired 35 years of expert service and support, partnering with the world's leading brands like HP, Apple, and Microsoft. We take pride in setting the bar for what you expect and deserve from a homegrown Bahamian business. We're here to serve you when you need us, so call 396-1101. Custom Computers, raising the standard since 1987.
Get a merry makeover this Christmas from Scotiabank. Apply for a Scotia Plan loan to win a home renovation. This Christmas, unwrap the celebration. $3,000 for your home, new lamp, new decor, new couch that you
Win a
own.
$3,000 home goods gift card when you apply for a Scotia Plan loan this Christmas. We're giving you the gift of a low interest rate and up to 2 months with no payments. Plan the perfect Christmas with your Scotia Plan loan. Use it for any purpose, plus benefit from flexible payment terms. Apply for a Scotia Plan loan now to enter to win a merry home makeover.
Link up with BTC.
Did you get the speed bump? All BTC subscribers with a bundled fiber connection receive the speed increase. Totally free and totally automatic. It's just another way of ensuring that we are delivering best value to our customers, keeping them on the leading edge of everything awesome. Link up with BTC to get your speed bump today. Visit any BTC store or btcbahamas.com to learn more.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM.
Guess what? I'm in a state of ecstasy. I'm happy as can be. This must be the greatest thing in life to have you here with me. I've been waiting for a long, long time.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner on this Thursday morning, the day after Nicole, and I'm getting your reaction to all of that. Heard from Grand Bahama before the break there, and so it seems like everybody made it through okay. Laverne's interesting to see in the papers, though. The gentleman we heard from earlier in Jared Higgs's piece there, Eddie Bodie in Green Turtle Key, he's saying that they saw more water from Green Turtle Key than they saw during Hurricane Dorian.
Wow.
Which is,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that is quite something there, right? So it's going to be interesting to see what we learn over the next few days about the impact it had on the Keys of Abaco. All right, so let's hear from you folks again, getting your reaction to all of this. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Also want to note that just hours after the all clear was given for New Providence, we went back to murder. Had another murder.
Isn't that so sad?
My gosh. Yeah, 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock last night. A 53-year-old man dead, a shooting outside his residence in Cool Acres. Police are asking for anyone with information to give them a call. Boy, I tell you. Had a little lull as we were preparing for Nicole, but then
Yeah,
as soon as it was over,
we're back to this.
yeah. So, hey. Coming up, we're going to be talking with A Squared SBDC about their MSME month. A lot of letters there, right? But they're going to explain what's happening this month in just a bit. And later, Morning Blend Business, we're talking with OKX Bahamas. That's the crypto exchange that's been established as a digital asset business. We'll talk with them all while all eyes are on what's going on with FTX and Binance. We talked about that yesterday, and Binance backing out of the deal to purchase or to take over FTX. So it's really got everybody in a tizzy. So that's all straight ahead. But we continue to talk about what else is in the news, getting a reaction to the Prime Minister's fight to get more awareness about climate change while he's in Egypt at COP27. And right, some would say this is quite convenient of a time to show folks how climate change is impacting our country. He's over there right now as he can show images of what Nicole has done just a few short years since Dorian, and for getting people to act. And he mentioned it in the messages he sent about how he's trying to get folks to understand it's the industrialized world that has caused this, and that we didn't do anything to encourage this or deserve this even. So, boy, yeah. That's a lot. All right. So, 422-4796, that's the text line. And you can call in 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Everybody's back on the streets, getting ready to head to work again. Avoid the coastal roads. Avoid those areas there. Yeah. So, Laverne, what was going through your mind as you heard your Grand Bahamians there speaking about what they experienced yesterday?
I'm grateful, you know what I mean, Dwight? Mm-hmm. I'm grateful because I was so concerned and just thinking about what could happen, what may happen. You know, oftentimes we talk about how a lot of people homes, well, some homes are still compromised from Dorian. And so just following up and asking and calling, how's the wind? How's the rain? Is there flooding in this area? Mm-hmm. Have you heard if there's flooding here? Do you think that people are going into the shelters? All of that, the stress of that, but just be able to communicate with people this morning and later, the latter part of yesterday into the evening and the late night, and just for them to say, well, I'm okay. We had rain, but we're okay. You know, the power dipped, but now it's back. Some people don't have power. But so for me, it was really just gratefulness because I remember, Dorian, I was also not on the island. Mm-hmm. Excuse me, when Dorian happened. I was in Canada at the time, and I just remember being glued to my laptop, calling, texting, just horrified, crying, just everything, frantic. Because you feel so helpless, and this is your home, and you're hearing names of people you know that they're calling in there in the stress. And so what a marked difference. And it was just this morning I woke up relieved and very grateful.
Yeah. Wow. Wonderful stuff. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Ms. Gardner.
Morning.
Good morning.
No different than that. We are grateful that we got there alive. We got this wonderful island of the Bahamas. While the Prime Minister is doing a good job in promoting climate change, it is a clear indication that's why we need to go there. But what I really call for is I would like for NEMA to invest in pumping machines for the government, because we could eliminate a lot of those low-lying areas, right? If we have pumping stuff to pump the water out. That's watching the Florida hurricane preparedness. They had pumping changed on the street. I don't know if you all watched it last night, right? Did you saw that?
No.
Yeah, you saw it before, though. The pump, Miss Gardner, you saw that?
No, I didn't.
You mean
Yeah,
just pumping machines in general?
Yeah, pumping machine in general, where they pumps the water out for low-lying areas. And so we need to invest in that. We need to invest, especially the area out west.
But where are you pumping the water to?
I mean,
Where are you going to put the water?
They pump it out to the ocean.
I mean,
They
usually
pump it out to the ocean, but we also
I don't think
need
you can
to-
do that. I mean, usually they pump them into canals, but
Well, when we have a canal, these people are environmental friendly people down in Florida, so they know what they're doing. So we could ask
they've had
them.
many issues pumping into the water, into the ocean. Many issues, and I don't know if they. So you have to really think about it. But I get something needs to be done. Absolutely.
Yeah, we got to look at that. We also need to look at how we're going to more secure out west for the deep more sea walls or what have you. We just need to have the engineers in here to look up, to do a better job on how we be more prepared for hurricanes. That's how we prepare for the chemical mechanic change. We need to prepare how we're going to make our state more resilient for hurricanes.
Okay.
Have a good day.
All right. Thank you very much. Yeah. So we've been telling people to avoid West Bay Street, and right, even if the barricades are moved. But this person says, "Let them go. I could use a tow job on West Bay Street." So there you go. There you go. Help to spread the wealth around. Go and get your car messed up.
Needs a business.
Right. So the tow truck drivers can have a Merry Christmas. Yeah. There. Sounds good. All right, we're going to leave that there. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're talking with 8th grade SBDC about all they have planned for this month, MSME month. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
She ball out. She says she want anything now. Ready to do anything. She says she want anything.
Florida Auto Parts can deliver all the auto parts your car will ever need, direct from the USA and from around the world. Florida Auto Parts provides fast delivery on auto parts, and we ship throughout the Bahamas, genuine or aftermarket, new or used, and all for the best price. Call Florida Auto Parts Trusted Parts Rep on WhatsApp at 1-786-772-8777 to save on your next auto parts purchase. Florida Auto Parts, the right parts at the right price.
I used to think of the bank as my personal ATM machine. If I wanted a new car, new furniture, a weekend trip to Miami, no problem. Just max out the credit card or top up my loan. I was a big baller until I realized that 75% of my salary was going to pay back all those loans. Fidelity's personal financial coaching was the best solution. Fidelity gave me a plan with a debt consolidation loan that has a built-in savings that pays 5% interest. I now only have one low monthly payment, plus money in my pocket. Give Fidelity Bank a call at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit any of Fidelity's locations or visit a website at fidelitygroup.com.
Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express Plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Okay, class, let's begin today's history lesson. Ancient civilization used to visit stadiums to watch musicians perform. It was called a live concert.
Teacher, what year was that?
Researchers believe it was around 2019. Normal life feels like a long time ago. As things return to normal, remember it is essential to be fully immunized against all vaccine-preventable diseases like COVID-19, rubella, polio, hepatitis, mumps, and influenza. This message is brought to you by PAHO WHO, the Ministry of Health and Wellness, the Caribbean Development Bank, the Government of Canada, and the United States of America.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Right now I feel like whining. Shake that bump up on me cause we grinding. She's a beast, I'm a bigger beast and we raking. Up on one with motorbike cause we scraping. Right now I feel like whining. Shake that bump up on me cause we grinding. She's a beast, I'm a bigger beast and we raking. Up on one with motorbike cause we scraping.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner. And it is National MSME Month. That's Micro, Small, and Medium Enterprises Month. And here to tell us all about this, we're very pleased to welcome back from Access Accelerator Small Business Development Center, Michaela Munnings. Good morning, Michaela. Great to have you with us.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
All right, so here we are in the month. What's taken place so far before we get to what's still ahead on the calendar?
Okay, so we kicked off the month in the Family Island, actually. Last Saturday, November 5th, we had brunch and business in Andros. We had a great turnout, a good time. Representatives from Cable Bahamas would have kind of shared with the business owners in Andros what's happening, their plans for expansion. And then I did a presentation on how they can better market and brand themselves. And so they were very eager and hungry for information. And we had a great time over brunch.
Okay, wonderful. About how many people participated in it?
So we had 35 business owners that came out.
Nice. Yeah, excellent. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's off to a great start. Before we get to the up-and-coming events, tell us why this is important at all. Why do we need to have a special month dedicated to MSMEs in the country?
So I know the last time we were on your show, a few persons that asked, why don't you highlight exactly what is an MSME so persons can understand just how important this national month of recognition is. So an MSME is a business that employs less than 50 individuals and earns less than $5 million annually. So when we look at the wider scope of things, most of our Bahamian businesses fall into that category. Mm-hmm. And so it's important that we highlight and celebrate the accomplishments and the strides of these business owners, specifically in a time where, we've seen such turbulent times in the past 2 years with COVID, and then right before that, Dorian. And so for business owners, they say the first 3 years are the hardest.
Yeah.
So for business owners to continue to push through, expand, hire more individuals, and of course, just try to grow and have their business thrive in hard economic times, that within itself is something worth celebrating.
Yeah, definitely. And we keep hearing people with the gloom and doom saying that there are even more challenging times ahead, especially in 2023. So with that in mind, what do MSMEs need to be thinking about over the next few months?
So definitely you want to look at your service and product offering. Find and pick out those that are actually your niche services or products and that target consumers want to buy and there's a great demand for. Because a lot of times, some business owners, when they first start the business, yes, their service or their product is an answer to a problem. However, times change, needs change, customer demands and wants change. So I want to encourage business owners to actually kind of just take a look at your business plan. Look at the scope of your offering, revamp those items where needed. Maybe you want to add a few more services. Maybe you realize, okay, the times have changed and these are some things that I want to take away. So I would say first start with that internal review of the organization. And then you want to look at stuff like technological advancements. Am I offering online payments? Am I keeping up to date with technology? Customers now are truly looking for the ease of doing business. Mm-hmm. And so you want to make sure that when a person has to make a decision between yourself and another business or service provider, that you come out on top.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay.
Michaela, good morning. I have a question. Does Access Accelerator offer guidance for someone who falls into the MSME category where you realize that because of everything that's going on in the world, I probably need to pivot? Yes, this was working before, but I see where, I'm keeping up with the industry, my industry. I see trends are changing, but I don't really know how. Do you offer, like, are they, even if it's a paid service, able to come in, discuss where they are, make an appointment and say, how can you help me to pivot so that my business does not go under?
Laverne, that's an excellent question, and yes, we do. I think this month in particular, of course, apart from the exciting events, I think it's very, very timely for us because it's an educational and teachable moment for us as an organization to be able to let the wider populace know and understand our service offering, because a lot of persons just make the connection with Access Accelerator when they think of funding or just monetary needs for their business. However, we do offer business plan writing, advisory services, mentorship, educational training, entrepreneurial training, and the list goes on. And so we really want the public to understand that, yes, it's a national month. It's MSME month. It's not Access Accelerator or SBDC month. It's national. And so we do want to invite those persons who are not necessarily our funded clients or already in our pipeline to call our offices, visit our website, reach out to us to access these services that we have to offer. Because like you said, someone may not necessarily need funding at this time, but they may need the direction and the guidance to take their business to the next level. And so, yes, we do offer those services.
Yeah. How often do people take advantage of that?
So that's the thing, right? Because one of the things that we do with our funded clients, so we don't just give them the money and say, okay, here's your check, have a nice day. No, we walk them through and we kind of hold their hand. And so, like I said, this month allows us to let the public know that even if you're not necessarily one of those funded clients or you're not there yet, still give us a call, still take advantage of these services. And we do have a few persons that take advantage, but then again, I think they may be based on, word of mouth referrals or just off of following us on social media. And so we're using these interviews and various speaking engagements throughout this month to educate the wider public and, of course, the average business owner and entrepreneur that you can utilize our services as well, not just the funding aspect of it.
Okay, all right. So you mentioned you start off in Andros. Is Access Accelerator, which islands are you on right now? Or do you just travel throughout the country?
So currently we have SBDC representation in Grand Bahama, Abaco, Andros, Eleuthera, Long Island, and New Providence. Of course, in the coming years, we're looking to expand our presence throughout more family islands. And so what we wanted to do for this inaugural MSME month is to make sure that we touch those islands where we have representation. So we started off with Andros. We were actually supposed to do Eleuthera last evening, but of course, due to weather concerns and warnings, we thought it best to postpone. And so Eleuthera is up next week, Wednesday. We're having the master meetup at the Chamber of Commerce in Eleuthera. So that's an exciting time of networking and, just getting to understand more about what we offer. And then, of course, speaking to representatives from the SBDC and Cable Bahamas as well, who's our partner in this journey. And so we're really excited to hit up Eleuthera,
Tell us what people can expect there. What exactly will you be doing?
So we will have some dynamic presentations, and then we will have a giveaway. Of course, Cable Bahamas and Alive, they have to keep our business owners connected. So we'll have a cellular device giveaway. And then, of course, we'll just have some lively time to network. So we'll have food and drinks, and we want the business owners on the island of the Eleuthera to kind of just share some of the concerns that they may have, some challenges, because we do advocate on behalf of the small businesses as well. And so that's one of the things that we do as well, advocacy, with government agencies and, of course, private companies to voice the concerns and have these concerns and needs met and addressed on behalf of these business owners. And so it's going to be a really good time of networking and just a dynamic event to celebrate MSME month.
And you said it's going to be now on the 16th.
Yes, so on the 16th at the Eleuthera Chamber of Commerce in Rock Sound. And then we move from there to
Before you get to that, so if you want to be a part of that, what do you need to do?
Certainly. So you can just visit our website. We'll have a link available on our social media pages today where you can register and sign up for that particular event. Or you can call our office at 461-SBDC and we can get you registered for that as well.
And people from the length and breadth of Eleuthera can be.
And it's free, Dwight.
And it's free. All right.
Yes.
And that's the 16th is a Wednesday, next week Wednesday.
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
Wonderful. All right. So after that.
So we move on the morning of the 16th in New Providence.
Oh,
there's
you
a
got multiple things.
Yes,
Okay.
we have multiple things going on. So that the morning of the 16th, there's a power breakfast at Margaritaville, and that is hosted by the local Chamber of Commerce here, where our interim executive director, Ms. Samantha Roll, she will be that keynote speaker. So we're inviting persons to come out to that as well. I think the cost is $25. And they can register. They can find that flyer and registration information on our social media pages as well. And then that evening, we go on to Eleuthera.
Okay. So what are you hoping to do at the power breakfast? What was the objective there?
So Samantha will be giving a dynamic presentation under the theme, Decoding the Future of MSMEs. So we're looking to kind of educate and give the public some insight as to what to look forward to, not only from us, but how MSMEs are really shaping the economy's future and becoming more sustainable. And then we want to drive the conversation on ways that you can have your current business thrive and, of course, achieve sustainability for future longevity and growth.
And how many can be accommodated with the power breakfast?
I am not sure. I'm not certain. I can find out.
Yeah, but register now so you can get it.
But yes, so I would say grab your ticket because tickets are going fast. They're not at full capacity as yet, but I understand they're more than halfway there. And so you'd want to grab that ticket if you're interested at a cost of $25.
Yeah, that's a good deal there. Okay, so so you got two big events on the 16th.
Correct.
And then the next day, another big one.
The next day, yes. So the next day, we're hosting the Long Island Business Outlook. That one is going to be via Zoom. And so this will be the last business outlook for the year. So you definitely don't want to miss that. Then on the 18th, we have Mix, Mingle, and Market in Abaco. And so this one is an evening event as well. It's a networking event for business owners on the island of Abaco. And you'd want to just keep abreast of all things MSME Month via our social media pages. And we will also be posting registration links so that persons can register for these events. We've tried our best to make, especially the Family Island events, we've tried our best to make everything free of charge. So we want these business owners and entrepreneurs, and of course, just persons with an idea and they don't know where to start or they just need some assistance. Even if you're not yet in the business, come on out. Speak with our representatives, let us help you and let us take you and guide you in the right direction to move your idea from now an idea to execution.
And I don't know if you said it, but where exactly in Abaco is that one going to be and what can people expect?
The event in Abaco will be held, one second. I couldn't remember off the top of my head. I'm so sorry.
No problem. And that is the 18th. That is a Friday.
Yes,
Next
so that's
week
Friday the 18th, and it's going to be at Sugarcane Restaurant in Marsh Harbor, Abaco.
Okay. And again, Mix and Mingle, we can kind of figure out what that is, but also and
Mix,
market.
Mingle, and market.
What's the market part?
So the market part is we'll have a surprise social media expert guest coming over to deliver a presentation to those business owners. Because the thing is, a lot of persons in the past, Dwight, they would have been so nonchalant about spending on marketing. But now that you see, so many of the same type of business in one particular industry, you have to understand how to set yourself apart.
You sure people have they got that yet? I don't know if enough people understand this. I sometimes I have to wonder.
And this is correct. So this is why you need to take advantage of all of the free events that are happening for MSME Month, because you need this knowledge, you need this information. And then, of course, we need each other. So one of the most important things of being in business is to network.
Yeah. Let's talk a little more about that, because, we're seeing it now. People think, well, I'm saving some money. I just put up a flyer on Facebook, and there you go. I've done my marketing. But as you said, that's not really a way to separate yourself from all the others, right?
Correct. So when you think about it, right, let's just give an example that we can all relate to. When you think about it, Pizza Hut, Domino's, Papa John's, what's the next one? Little Caesars. What do they all sell? Pizza, right? So what sets them apart? Obviously, their disparity in pricing, and then of course customer service. So you can not be everything to your business. For example, let's just say if you do massages and facials, so you're an esthetician, right? It's so difficult to now. You may be the best in the Bahamas, but if you cannot try to be the accountant, the social media manager, you can't be all these things at once and then still drive business. Now, I know it's hard initially because you're actually trying to generate revenue to be able to spend, but we have to learn to start asking for help. As Bahamians, as individuals, we have to start asking for help. And so you may think, okay, I have a great idea, I have a great product, but you know nothing about marketing. And then you see sometimes we go to a restaurant and we're like, okay, this has a really good food. Wow, it was amazing. And then 2 months later, you see a sign on the door for rent. So what's happening there? The actual marketing and branding and the administration and the management, that person may have just been a great chef, a great cook, and had a great idea and a great product. But now, how do you translate this into the messaging that you want your target market, your consumers to understand? And so marketing it's ongoing. It's the way that you promote the products and services that you offer. And it's not just by posting a flyer. It's not just by starting a page, a Facebook page or an Instagram account and saying, hey, it's me, I'm open. No, it goes deeper than that. And you have to spend time and you have to invest. And so in some instances where persons can afford it, I would definitely tell them to invest in outsourcing their marketing if they can, because you don't know everything about a business initially, and you cannot do everything all by yourself.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? I mean, Michael, people are going to say, hey, I'm just starting out. I'm new, I'm small, and I don't have the money to invest in advertising on Morning Blend or coming on Morning Blend with Dwight Strachan, right? So how can I do this? I'm already handicapped because I'm just now beginning. What do I do?
So what do you do? What do you do, Dwight? You stay in tune with trends, right? So you read the newspaper, you read books, you log on to YouTube, Google. There are so many free resources. I mean, I just can't even describe how many free platforms there are. So you take in and you digest the free knowledge as much as you can. And then that kind of helps you get a footing. And so you start your page, and then maybe you ask for advice, right? For example, if you want to reach out to me and then you feel like, okay, well, I don't want to make her feel as though I'm taking advantage of her because right now I can't pay her for her services. Then you start where you are, Dwight. Just maybe you may want to barter. What if you're a hairstylist and I'm the marketing guru? Every girl loves to get her hair done. So then you may say, listen, Michaela, I really don't have, I know your services start at about $500. I really don't have it. But can you just maybe sit with me for half an hour, and give me a crash course? And then you can come and get your hair braided. What, Dwight? I would totally say yes.
Wow.
You have to start where you are.
Yep.
And start with what you have. I cannot tell you how many times so many persons come to me on a personal level and say, I just don't have the funds. I just don't know what to do. I just don't know how to do it. Then you work with what you have.
Yeah.
You have a mind, you have a brain, you have knowledge. So now you go and get more information. And when you've reached that capacity, then you take it to the next level. Like I said, find someone in the industry who is as successful as you want to be, or who knows the information that you need. And then you go and you barter. Yeah. So there are many ways. I hate when persons kind of make so many excuses when there are so many different avenues that you can try.
Absolutely. And by the way, folks, advertising on radio, including Morning Blend, is much more affordable than you think. So don't just make assumptions, like Michael is saying. Ask and talk to people. Dwight. I'm just letting you know.
Shameless plug.
All right, Michael, we got a lot more to talk about. We're going to pick it up after the news in Morning Blend Business. Michael Munnings with A Squared SBDC. We're talking about MSME Month, National MSME Month. We'll have more on it after the break. Stay with us.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Thursday, November 10th, 2022. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner. Coming up in a few minutes, we're going to be talking with OKX Bahamas. That's coming up in a bit, but we continue our discussion with A Squared SBDC, Access Accelerated Small Business Development Center. We've been speaking with Michaela Munnings about their MSME month, having a great discussion so far. Okay, Michaela, so I think we are about halfway through the exciting events planned for the month. We just wrapped up the Mix and Mingle and Market for Aberco on the 18th, but there's a whole lot more. What comes next?
Forum on November 22nd, and that's under the theme All Access, the Future of MSMEs. That will be held at the Warwick Paradise Island. And Dwight, guess what?
Okay, what?
The investment is absolutely free.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So tell us about it. What is it and who can attend this one?
So sure, I would say it's open to, of course, our clients, business owners, entrepreneurs, and just persons in general, like I said, who have maybe an idea and they want to know how to implement and take it to the next level. Persons who are currently in business and may just feel a little bit stagnant and want some motivation. And so this event, we'll have like TED Talk style presentations, exciting panel discussions, and of course, lively interviews. And then we'll have some of our dignitaries present to bring remarks and just talk about MSMEs and their not only national but global impact. So I don't think you want to miss this. This is our first business forum. It's in conjunction with the IDB, and we're looking to an exciting date. We do have a hybrid component if persons are unable to attend, because of course it's an all-day event from 9 to 4. But we do have limited seating available. So you want to follow our social media pages, you want to click that link, you want to register and secure your seat for November 22nd.
Okay. And you said it's going to be at the Warwick, is that what you said?
Yes, the Warwick Paradise Island, and it's absolutely free.
That is wonderful stuff. All right. And what comes next?
So from there, we move on to the second city, and we have a 2-day Business Expo on the island of Grand Bahama. So that's going to be an exciting, dynamic time. Of course, industry professionals will be there, and then we will have our leading members of the cabinet will be there to do presentations. Our very own IED, Samantha Roll, she'll be there to do brief remarks. And so it's an exciting time for business owners, especially on the island of Grand Bahama. They will get to display their products and services at this 2-day expo at the Pelican Bay Hotel. And so you don't want to miss that as well.
Okay, and how do you register for that? How do you become a part of that?
We will put out some information to assist persons with registration. But that particular event, I think that, yes, I do think that there's a registration link. So I can share that with you guys following our, we can put it out on our social media so that persons can keep updated and be able to register for that event.
Okay.
But it's a 2-day dynamic event. It kicks off on the 28th. And I think those sessions are from 12 to 5. And then the following day is a half-day session. And so we're excited to go over to Grand Bahama to not only connect with our clients, but business owners and the wider business community at large.
Laverne, see, Grand Bahama is not forgotten.
Yes, I was listening for that. As Michaela was listening to the event, I was like, Michaela, you're coming to the end of the event. I haven't heard Grand Bahama.
Good stuff.
No, we have not forgotten, but but we are not done yet. I think I am so excited. I'm so super psyched about what's happening on November 30th. Dwight, Laverne, you guys just have to be there. We have to make sure that you're there.
Okay, tell us about that one.
I'm available.
Okay. She doesn't even know what it is yet, Dwight.
Nope.
She's excited. So get your tux, Dwight, Laverne. We want you to get your fancy dress. We are having a red carpet semi-formal event. It's called MSME Honors. And this is where we get to now say thank you. We appreciate you. We see the strides you're making across various industries. We want to highlight, recognize, honor, and give flowers to those persons who have made substantial strides over, just a few industries, because we don't want to touch all. We'll not say we don't want to touch, but for this inaugural year, we've selected a few industries to highlight and recognize. I mean, if we touch every industry, we'll be there all night.
Yeah,
but
right.
This red carpet event, you don't want to miss it. It's on Wednesday, November 30th. The cocktail reception kicks off at 6 p.m. And then the award ceremony is from 7:30 to 9 p.m. And this will be held in the Access 3 at Fusion Superplex.
Okay, all right. So do you have to pay to attend that, or how do you be a part of that one?
Yes, so you do have to pay to attend that. Of course, the honorees will not have to pay, but you would have to pay for this one. It's $50, and that includes, of course, the cocktail hour, food and beverage, and an amazing show. We cannot wait to show you guys what we've been working on over the past few weeks with the local production team, and so we are excited.
Have you determined already who will be honored for that, with small businesses?
Yes, and so that's a surprise.
Okay.
That's
All
a
right.
surprise element, but I can give you a little insight. So what it is that we're doing that's really, really cool and, just kind of different. We are telling a story, Dwight. So for example, let's just say that, businesses right now like the Bush Cook and, the New Duff and all of those food vendors that are making their mark in the food and beverage industry. We want to tell the story that, listen, if it wasn't for Annie Sue's kitchen on the corner back in so-and-so, persons wouldn't have felt comfortable or confident that they could start their own, whether it was a chicken and fries joint or, a seafood restaurant, or even now the food trucks. And so we want to tell the story of how these various industries have evolved over time to create the businesses that we now see standing and thriving and succeeding. And so that's so super exciting. You don't want to miss that event. You want to be on time because you want to catch every moment of this production. And we're so excited to be putting this on.
Okay.
Right. It sounds like they're gonna need media coverage for this event.
Of course.
So we'll need to let
listing. Yes. So
we need to let Guardian make arrangements for us to attend this event.
Certainly, Laverne.
So that we can have
we'll talk
proper
about that
coverage.
off there because we don't want our listeners to feel jealous that where are their media passes?
Right, exactly. All right, so can you say how many people are going to be honoring, or how many entities, how many businesses are going to be honoring, at least?
Sure. So I can speak to the industries. We've chosen to highlight a total of 7 industries, and the selection was based upon those industries that we received the most requests for funding for currently. And then, of course, an average of the industries that have to date received the most funding. And so we kind of compiled those listings and created those industries. And we came up with tourism, agriculture, education, food and beverage, professional services, and I think the final one is, fishing and construction.
Okay.
And so we're excited to highlight individuals, across those various industries. And we're looking forward to a star-studded night. So I don't want to give too much because I want persons to come out and attend and, mix and network and get to know, because a lot of times we feel so, I wouldn't say we feel so, but sometimes just because of the nature of the business that we're in, Dwight, we don't know what's happening across other industries. We don't understand and recognize and appreciate what strides someone is making, in fishing and farming, if we just have no knowledge about it. And so we want persons to come. It's going to be a very educational and fun night, and we want persons to come on out and just have a greater appreciation and understanding of what MSMEs currently mean to this country and where they are headed in the future.
Yeah, okay. Sounds wonderful. All right, so I recall the last time you were here, I see that something that was on the list isn't on the list anymore. Am I wrong? The small business...
No, so you're correct.
Okay.
We're working through a few tweaks, and we're actually in discussions with a partnership with a current event that's going to be on that same day on a large scale.
Mhm.
And so if that comes to fruition, which we should know by end of day today, we will just add it back into the schedule. But if not, we will go ahead with what we usually have done in the past and have a Christmas showcase. So
Okay.
I don't really want to speak on that until it's finalized, but you are seeing correct. It was moved until we kind of fine tune those plans for that particular day.
All right, so, but no matter what, the Christmas showcase is still going to happen at some
Correct.
point this
So,
year.
Yeah, so if we're unable to have this event tentatively on November 26th, regardless, the Christmas showcase will continue, and
Okay.
that will be either the first or second Saturday in December. So our clients, business owners have no fear. Either which way, you'll still be afforded the opportunity to be a part of that showcase.
Okay, and for folks who aren't familiar with that, let people know what that is all about.
So that Christmas showcase is an opportunity for, and this is where we get to speaking on benefits, Dwight.
Mm-hmm.
So herein lies a great benefit of being a funded client of the SBDC. So what we would do right around the holiday season is have a showcase where a few of our funded clients can come out. We provide the platform, we advertise it, and we hope that, of course, they would advertise on their end as well so that we can have a larger guest count. But we have it at a large venue that can hold at least 20 to 25 vendors, and it's no cost to our clients. So they would have their table, 2 chairs, whatever they need, signage, access to electricity if they have, something that they need to prepare with electrical items. And so this is like our thank you to them, and of course putting them on, because now we give them this platform on one day where the public can come in as well, free of charge, and purchase their products and services. And so that is what our Christmas showcase is all about.
Yeah, all right, looking forward to it. All right, we're talking with Michael Munnings with A Squared SBDC, and we've got a few text messages. You can message us as well, 422-4796. That's 422-GR96. This person says here, Dwight, I'm soon going to retire, and I'm trying to get in the small business sector with a landscaping company. How can I get funding for my business?
Okay, so let's talk through this, right? So initially, one of the first steps would be for you to lay out this idea, because now he's kind of past the idea stage. He knows what it is that he wants to do, and so now he's requesting funding. There are so many different elements that are in between that gap of ideation to execution to now funding. So we want to look at stuff like a business plan. Do you want it to be just yourself? Is it going to be a sole proprietorship for now? Or outrightly, do you see the need to hire persons? What about equipment? And so once he comes in and we kind of have that preliminary conversation, then we can walk him through the steps and the processes. But I mean, I can tell him right off the jump, just to give a word of advice. If this is now, okay, he's certain about this landscaping business and this is what he wants to do, his first step should be now to try and reserve that name, because he wants to make sure that he gets the name that he wants. So he would go to Inland Revenue's website and go ahead and click on, applying for a business license. And then I think there's a tab that says first-time applicants, and then he would want to reserve that name, because I think nothing hurts more than you start planning in your mind, and then you want to be Dwight's Trucking, and so you go on your own and get these shirts printed, these business cards, and when it now comes time for you to actually legalize what it is that you're doing, you learn that Dwight's Trucking is not available. And so one of the first things that he wants to do is reserve that name, and then go ahead and register for a physical planning letter and go to NIB and get his business registered, and then he can apply for the business license. But he can still, in the interim, still call us, and we can have one of our representatives speak with him to kind of offer guidance in that area. But I'm so excited that he is saying he's about to retire and thinking of the next steps. That is great, because a lot of persons just say, okay, I'm just going to stay at home and,
Right.
I'm retired now. But he's, thinking of the next level even in his retirement, to keep himself active and busy. And so that within itself is commendable.
Yeah.
But that would be my recommendation, to start there in terms of actually reserving that name and legalizing this business. And then, looking at a business plan. What all services would he offer? How would he price them? Does he have equipment? Does he need equipment? And so you want to consider all of these things so that we can have a very fruitful conversation when he gets now face to face with one of our advisors.
Yeah. He might be young too and just sick and tired of working for somebody.
That is true as well. I cannot discount that.
Yeah. All right, we got some angry texters here, Michaela. Oh boy. So they've heard you mention Andros, Eleuthera, and Grand Bahama, and Abaco, but this person says, what about Exuma?
Okay. So if that person would have recalled, we just had the Exuma Business Outlook, and that was in October. And so while we do not necessarily have an SBDC office or an island representative on Exuma, we figured just because that November was so close, right behind that particular outlook, that we would have kind of covered that just a few weeks prior. And so one of the things that we're not forgetting any island. No island is left behind. However, for the inaugural month, we just wanted to kind of have touch points, especially, like I said, with the offices where we have representation. So Exuma is not forgotten. Exuma is loved. Exuma is in our hearts. Our team was on the island of Exuma for the Exuma Business Outlook, on the ground, meeting with various business owners there. We got some feedback. We got some concerns. And so because that was just 2 weeks prior to the launch of National MSME Month, we knew that we'd kind of covered ground with Exuma in this last quarter. And so we have not forgotten you. Definitely for MSME Month 2023, we are looking to add more islands, more events to the lineup of the calendar of events. So don't be angry, have no fear. We love Exuma.
Okay, all right. Another slightly angry person here, but they're very enthusiastic. They said, I heard you talk about Andros, but Andros is 4 districts and separated by water. I am in South Andros, but I haven't heard about a function that they're having for us down there. So they want you to come to all the parts of Andros.
Okay. So again, it's not our intent to single out anybody, and it's not our intent to just intentionally overlook anyone. While I do understand and I hear the concerns, and so these type of comments are necessary, I don't necessarily look at it as an angry caller or an angry texter, because now this kind of shifts the focus for the planning of MSME Month for next year. And we know, okay, well, we did something she said she's in South Andros, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Right.
So,
So we know that we would have covered the North. Why not next year try to do both, or try to touch the South, because we would have touched North last year.
Yeah.
So these types of comments are necessary because we need to know how we can expand, how we can broaden our reach, and where we can improve. And one of the things as well is, of course, that next year we hope to even have a bigger budget, have more partners or sponsors come on board. We are very grateful for the partnership and the assistance of Cable Bahamas Limited, who saw the need to make this investment and, just kind of act as that arm on behalf of these MSMEs. So we are very grateful for the team at Cable Bahamas Limited, who is partnering with us for these initiatives. So definitely next year, we look forward to more islands, more tours, more events, and more one-on-one touch points with our residents, business owners, and entrepreneurs in the family islands. Because one of the things I told a friend of mine when we did Andros on the weekend, I felt how the MPs felt, because there were so many questions, there were so many concerns, and while you cannot always please everyone, Dwight, we will certainly try to do our best. And this is why we need to have these family island visits. We need to have national recognition months like these, because we want persons to understand we're here for you. We are, every day that we are open, the SBDC is advocating for business owners. And so no one is forgotten, no one is left out. And we hoped to expand our calendar of events for 2023 and the years to come, because this is not a one-hit wonder, Dwight. National MSME Month is going to be annually.
Okay, wonderful. All right, so our gardener friend is texting back. says, no, I'm 58. And I'm also from Exuma. Wow. And I want you to repeat that number so they can get in contact with you all at the SBDC.
Sure. So our contact is very easy, 461 SBDC. And I want to encourage him. Is he in Exuma now, or is he in Nassau? What about moving back home to, once he's retired, to help strengthen the Exuma economy?
Yeah.
How about that? But
Lots
yeah,
of great
definitely.
questions. Yep. Oh, I wish him or her all the best. All the best. Okay. This person says here, I have a driving school. I just need help with funding. I have a business license and had already tested the business for months. The responses were great, but I was unable to continue due to a lack of essential funding to buy the vehicles needed and marketing and advertising for my brand. What is the best route to continue?
So, wow. So we just had a program that would have closed last week, actually, called the Bridge Program. And what that program entails is it's a 50-50 split between a grant request and a loan request. And so that would have been perfect for this individual. But what I would say is, reach out to us at phone numbers 461-SBDC, or even you can email us at marketing@sbdcbahamas.com. Let's talk. Let's have a conversation. And let's try to get you situated where you can qualify and be eligible for one of our funding, whether it's a grant program or a loan program. So let's make sure, like he says, he has the business registered. That's great. So he has the actual legal documents for the business. And so now we want to make sure that in the business plan and its pricing structure, everything is directly proportional to being a successful candidate for one of our programs. So come on in, let's talk. Call us, email us, let's have that conversation so that we can definitely help him and steer him in the right direction to, at some point be a successful approved candidate for one of our programs.
Yep, sounds wonderful. Again, that's 461 SBDC. Okay.
Yes.
And what are those numbers, if you have them by heart there?
7232.
7232. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. This text, I don't understand this text. This text, I don't know if they're reaching out for psychological help or if they want to start their own business, but they're saying, I work for an architectural firm and I'm 100% sure my boss ain't going to heaven. So if you see him on the line on Judgment Day, you ain't making it to heaven either. Okay, so this person's not happy where they are, and they may need to start their own firm. Advice you'd give that individual?
Dwight, look at one of the things that, come naturally to you, or I know when I was younger, I had a mentor who would say, look at that thing that bothers you, right? Because for me, something that really just was a peeve for me was seeing persons eating out of the garbage, right? And so it's still a dream of mine to open a shelter for rehabilitation and to help persons get back on their feet. So look at the things that really, really grind your gears, that bother you deeply, what you're passionate about. And then look at the things that you're good at, that, you could do at the drop of a dime. Someone could call you last minute and you can get it done, and it's excellent, it's top notch. And you deliver. Look at some of those things, because a lot of persons are just trying to copy or mimic what they see out there. They see persons selling cars or weave or having a liquor store or, selling clothing. And they just think, okay, because this person is doing well, maybe that is what I should do. But look at something that you're passionate about. Do your research, do your homework. And then once you figure out which industry that is, I always say, connect with someone who's in that industry or who's maybe even retired. Maybe they've been successful in that industry for a number of years. And so one of the things I think we have to stop being afraid of is, I know that there is the copycat syndrome. I know that there are persons who you would speak to and they would just intentionally steal your idea because maybe they have more funding or resources than you. So you want to be discerning in who and how you have these conversations. But for the most part, there are professionals, there are business owners that are not afraid to pass on what they know. They're not afraid to share knowledge. And so you'd be surprised just how, one conversation can help motivate and strengthen you to get where you need to be. And so sometimes when you find that there's such unrest and discomfort in your place of employment, a lot of times that is the nudge that you need to start something of your own and to start dreaming bigger than you're currently dreaming. And so I just want to encourage you. I know a lot of persons have to take on these jobs because, of course, we have financial obligations that we have to meet. But even if you can start doing that thing on the side while you're still working, because you don't always want to leave the shore for the unsure. But then again, if this person has no kids or real serious bills, then I would say, take a leap of faith, take that jump. But only that individual would know their current situation. So find a thing you love, find something you're passionate about, do your research, do your homework, get some information, because you may not know outrightly what it is that you need to start up, and then work your way from there. Connect with like-minded individuals. Connect with persons who are not afraid to share and help and mentor you. And then you go from there.
Absolutely. Great advice. One more time, let people know how they can find out more information about MSME Month and how to contact you all at Access Accelerator Small Business Development Center.
Sure. So they can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Access Accelerator. We will actually be updating our pages today with a lot of these events as we're, kind of changing flyers. And we didn't want to inundate the public with so many different flyers all at once. So we're trying to do them in phases. And so we'll be adding more information, especially about the Master Meetup in Eleuthera and, of course, the Mixed Mingle and Market in Abaco, which are both next week. Also, we'll be posting our media schedule to our stories and our timeline so that you can follow us, especially on outlets like these when we're on Guardian Radio, so that you can stay tuned and stay abreast. So we just want to encourage you to follow us on social. Like I said, listen out for us on various radio stations and across TV interviews. And then, of course, if you happen to miss any of those things, maybe you may not be on certain social media networks, give us a call, 461-7232, and we'd be more than happy to just tell you and keep you updated on what we have to offer. We can add you to our mailing list, and the list goes on. But Dwight, Laverne, don't forget, get your clothing ready now because you're coming to MSME Honors on November 30th.
Sounds fantastic.
Done.
All right.
Why you
Wonderful
heard
stuff.
that?
I heard. Looking forward to it. Michael Munnings, always a pleasure talking with you. Thank you so much.
Certainly. And thank you for having me and accommodating us.
Yes, hopefully we'll talk again soon. All right.
Yes. Take care.
Take care. We're going to take a break, folks. Morning Blend Business will continue when we come back. We're talking with OKX Bahamas. Stay tuned.
Don't trouble no water, baby. Don't ruffle no feather, baby. I don't need nobody. I did it on my own. Did it on my own.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
We know how important collecting your money can be to the success of your business. Start your relationship with Fidelity today so that we can show you the many options available to you with our merchant services. From click and pay options online to merchant terminals and e-commerce options. We're here to help your business succeed. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit any of our branches.
The Access Accelerator Small Business Development Center is here to help small businesses throughout the entire Bahamas. To better serve you, we've made it easier to contact us. Call 461-7232, WhatsApp 359-0626 or 359-2394, email helpdesk@spdcbahamas.com, or submit a ticket when you visit our help center at accessaccelerator.org. The Access Accelerator, empowering small business. Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit cfal.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
If you were exposed to COVID-19, have symptoms, or traveled recently, get tested so that you can have peace of mind about your status. Just visit one of our convenient locations on New Providence, at the University of the Bahamas, or Golden Gates Plaza, weekdays 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturdays 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. On Eleuthera at the Three Island Dock, Mondays through Thursdays 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., Fridays and Saturdays 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Sundays 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. On Exuma at the Regatta Park, weekdays 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., Saturdays 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Sundays 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. On Abaco at Maxwell Food Store, Mondays through Saturdays 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. The COVID-19 test results will be ready in 15 minutes, and the tests are free.
This message is brought to you by PAHO WHO and the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend Business on the Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner. And this morning we are talking with OKX Bahamas. To have back with us, CEO Jillian Bethel and Compliance Officer Ianthe Tynes. Welcome back. Great to have you with us.
Dwight, thanks for having us.
All right. So let's begin. Let's talk about OKX and OKX Bahamas. What exactly is it? What is the company? What are your objectives? What are your goals?
Yeah. So, OKX Bahamas is the Bahamian subsidiary of OKX, which is a global tech platform that offers safe, sound, and principled tech and tech innovation for the crypto economy and crypto consumers. Mm-hmm. So that's what we do.
Okay, so you got to break that down. Talk to us like we're preschoolers here.
Sure.
And explain to us what all of that means.
Yeah, it means that we offer a platform for people to interact with digital assets and interact with them in a way that is safe and sound and allows them to execute what they want to execute.
Mm-hmm. So Jillian, I know you were here before and you were trying to explain some of this stuff to us. So act like I've been on summer vacation and
Sure.
I've forgotten everything we learned before. So let's break that down even further.
Mm-hmm.
Digital assets, what we mean by that, and how the majority of people, is it something for the majority of people, or is this going to be for a sliver of the folks out there?
All right. So digital assets. I mean, let's call it out. We're talking about Bitcoin. We're talking about NFTs. We're talking about anything that comes in that space in the past, in the future. Those are the things that we deal with. And is it for everybody? It is our firm belief at OKX that we want to open up the financial system and create a platform that makes it approachable for everybody. So it's absolutely for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, tell us more about that. What does that mean?
As it relates to digital assets, I think you would have meant, Jillian would have mentioned, it's pretty much for everybody. As you could imagine, as it relates to digital assets, the country has, created the regulation as well for, companies to come here. And so as it relates to OKX and just, taking it at a different context, I think what was critical for us and us coming here to the Bahamas is because we have such a strong regulatory framework as it relates to the space. And so we wanted to make sure that we're safeguarding our business too. So, as it relates to digital assets and the growth and even allowing for Bahamians to take part. Bahamians at this point are not allowed to, but we know that there will be growth for Bahamians as well.
Mm-hmm. All right, so tell us about that, and when do you expect that's going to happen, and especially since you recently named a digital asset business here in the country. Explain all of that and what that means.
Right. Okay. So let's get into it. Crypto is global. Crypto is decentralized. Crypto is something that's approachable by anyone who can tap into the blockchain, normally with an internet connection, right? And so what this means is this is a new space that a lot of people can get involved in. It represents a new type of asset. It represents a new type of tech. And what we've done as OKX is taken that tech aspect and really enhanced it. But some of the things that Iante was talking about was this is a tech that's evolving and becoming more innovative. So the Bahamas has gone along and said, you know what, we like tech, we like finance as well, and we like to make sure that people are protected. So the Bahamas has gone along and made and created some rules from the ground up to make sure that it could approach the space and make sure that consumers are protected. And so OKX, having that same vision, having those same goals, we've jumped into the Bahamas, got some Bahamian executives, and we said, look, the Bahamas knows what's needed in the space. We trust Bahamians to do what's needed in the space. And so we're going to trust you executives to help us create a safe and sound space for crypto through the regulations that the Securities Commission and through the initiatives that the government are doing to further the space with innovation and sound regulatory framework. And because we're passionate about those same things to bring it to consumers, that we're here in this space to make it happen.
And typically we've seen the commitment by the Securities Commission and the government. We've seen that this DARE bill being drafted in 2020, enacted in 2021. We've seen the AML and CFT rules regarding the space for 2022. And they would have also mentioned, enhancement that will be made to the act, coming up relatively soon. And so we've seen where the government is really committed to not just safeguarding the space, but enhancing the space as well and allowing growth.
Yeah. All right, so all of this is happening while the whole world is watching what's going on with FTX and Binance. And so folks who are in the sector are raising their eyebrows and concerned, and folks who know nothing are also concerned. What do you say to people?
Sorry, Dwight, before we get there, I know we're going to get there. I just have a really perhaps dumb question, but for people who do not understand, can you explain what is cryptocurrency?
Great question, Laverne. Right, Laverne?
Yep.
And there are no dumb questions. When things are new, it's just a space to learn, and it's about meeting people where they're at. So I really appreciate this question. Cryptocurrency is, I'm going to use some big words, and Dwight, I'm going to break them down, right? So cryptocurrency is decentralized assets, right? So right now we have assets, we have money, we have, real estate, all of these things, right? And cryptocurrency presents a way for us to transfer, buy, sell, interact with these assets that doesn't require a middleman. So imagine real estate is great in the Bahamas. Real estate is like one of those industries that's really flying in the Bahamas, right? Imagine being able to interact with the ownership of a piece of property without a middleman, just with some rules that are put in place by everyone in the community, in the real estate community, the buyers, the sellers, and being able to say, hey, I want to have this piece of real estate or invest in this piece of real estate, and just being able to follow the rules without anybody having to tell you, in order to get into the space, I have to help you. So that goes for real estate, that goes for money, and that goes for a whole lot of other assets. Another quick example is creative assets like art, right? We know that stereotypical view of Sotheby's, or I don't even know how to say it, but they're out there and they're auctioning off a piece of art. Imagine that we can auction off that piece of art just based on the rules that everybody agrees to, and not having a guy there facilitating it that we need to necessarily pay or something like this to make it go forward. Cryptocurrencies are representations of value in a system that allows everyone to participate, to create the rules, and to act by the rules without a middle person.
So what are the risks with that?
Yeah, so it's really, really important in cryptocurrency for a few things. Transparency is one of them, and that's this is something that OKX has proven time and time and again that they are about. So that's always the top of my mind. Transparency is one of them. Decentralization is one of them, and that's a big word, but it's really, really important in this space because the system remains truer with the more players that are taking part of it. And let me just give a quick example of that. If we had a room with 3 people and we said, hey, we said to one of the people, hey, here's the truth. And, or two of the people, here's the truth. And one of the people, here's a lie. Right now, there's a 33% chance that what you, Dwight, if you were to walk in that room, there's a 33% chance that you would be told a lie. But if we had a room that was filled with 1 million people and we told one person a lie and everybody else the truth, there's far less chances for you to be told a lie. And decentralization is very, very similar. The more people that are taking part in it, the harder it is for a lie to be told by a bad actor. And so decentralization is really, really important in this space as well.
So if I'm picturing in my head the Wild Wild West, is that an unfair? Am I off the mark there, or
for crypto?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. You're the Wild Wild West. You're off for me because I've been in the space for at least 5 years now, right? But the truth is, it is a very, very new space, and it takes a lot to understand the space, and people are just gaining a better understanding of it. Luckily, there are very good actors out there who want to make it a safe space for consumers who are coming into the space. There's also very good regulators out there who are being innovative in making sure that the space is protected for consumers as well. So it's up to you to, first of all, make sure that you are protected and know what that means.
All right, so going back to the question. So with what's happening with FTX and Binance, is not your companies, but what does that say to folks who are questioning whether we do need to slow it down and really go back and look everything over to make sure we don't have situations like this? And does this put a black eye on the industry and even the Bahamas, seeing as FTX was domiciled here?
We don't know what's happening with FTX. However, like Jillian mentioned, we are a strong company, and one of the things that we pride ourselves on is on transparency. Typically, within this, when it comes to financial institutions in general, we see businesses acquire or try to acquire other businesses. We've seen that the past couple of months with other financial institutions, even here locally. Does it put a black eye on the crypto space? No. I think we as a country, we have, put in a lot of mechanisms to ensure that we're safeguarding the space. And so, we're comfortable and just looking forward to, as the space is maturing, that we are maturing along with it. And we've seen the commitment from the government to do that. So we feel very comfortable with that, and we know that our space is safeguarded.
And Jillian, if for people who are really confused, what do you say to them? I don't understand this. I'm worried. I'm scared. And crypto now is a bad C word to me. What do you say?
I don't know very many bad C words, and crypto's definitely not one for me. But here's the thing. Here's the root of it. Here's the main part of it. The Bahamas has taken a very, very proactive step in approaching, through regulation, through other initiatives, the direction that one of our core industries, financial services, is going. We have no choice but to do that. It's the way things are going, right? And the Bahamas has taken a very, very proactive and progressive and innovative approach to doing that. Just like my grandmother always told me, even the good person and even the bad person contributes to the maturation. She didn't say it like that, you know. Even the good person and even the bad person really contributes to the maturity of the maturing of what anything looks like. If someone were to innovate a way to, rob a store, we'll figure that out, we'll understand it, and we'll be able to create laws against it, right? And so what we're seeing right now is just the maturation of something that the Bahamas has been very, very proactive about. We are light years ahead of the world, and it's something that we should be proud of. And it's why companies like OKX are being attracted to the Bahamas, because we're innovative, we're progressive, we want the best for the crypto community, and we want to be in lockstep with any regulator who is going to be doing the same thing. So if Bahamians are a little bit, afraid or confused, just know that we are light years ahead, and we're doing a really, really good job.
All right, so what's next for OKX, and when will Bahamians be able to fully take part in all of this? What are we looking at?
So, Bahamians can take part in this right now through understanding what we're doing in the space. The regulators, like we've said, are doing a lot in the space, and we have companies like OKX who are really, really trusting the talent that's in the Bahamas to help the global aspects of what good players want to be furthered. So yeah, OKX is here. We're looking at safe, sound, principled tech and tech innovation, like I said, to further the crypto space, but we're also looking toward the Bahamas and Bahamians and Bahamian talent to really help to support that. And yeah.
And you'll see us make a truly an impact within the community. That's one of the things that are our core principles as well, and we've actually started that. We would have launched an initiative called the NFT Art for All, and I think the last time that we were here, we talk about NFT, artificial intelligence, and all of that. I wasn't here at that time, but my colleagues did an amazing job talking with you. But we want to educate the community. We want to make, like I mentioned before, a direct impact. And so you'll see a lot of things like that from the country, from the company, and we're just really, just excited for this opportunity and just excited to get started.
Yeah, excellent. Looking forward to more education opportunities.
Right.
Still feel like I need to learn so much more on this. But I'm glad that you're talking about it, and I'm looking forward to great things from OKX Bahamas.
Yeah, and we're looking forward to great things from the Bahamas, from the government to the regulators to the community, and we're happy to be an integral part of it.
Yeah. All right. So hopefully we'll talk again very soon. Julian Bethel, Ian Thay Tynes, thank you all so much. And thank you for answering some of these challenging questions out there today, I'm sure. But I'm sure you all keeping watch on everything that's going on, and you will guide us through it as well.
Sure thing.
All right.
Thank you.
We're going to take a break and be back to wrap things up. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Look funny, all black up yesterday.
But she say she bumped into a wall when she's running after the churn them.
Yeah, but last Saturday you see her arm was all black and blue, right?
So what you saying? You think something wrong between her and Jack?
I ain't sure, but you know Jack is a jealous man. I hear him and Cora last Friday. I hear him say he hear Cora have eyes for Junior.
Now you know that ain't true. Cora is a good woman, does mind her business, take care of them churn, and go to church every Sunday. So what you think we should do?
I think we should report Jack, Cora don't say nothing, but silence hides violence, and we don't want to line up in the cemetery. No
Not me. I ain't getting in nobody business. Then Jack come after me and I land up next to Cora.
No, man, we could call a text Crime Stopper. And remember, we can even get some grocery money for our tip.
Remind me again, how does this work?
We can call them in Miami at 328-TIPS or 328-8477. Or when we in the island, call toll-free at 300-TIPS or 300-8477. And if you don't have no minutes, use the Crack Crime Bahamas app and we could text them and the messages get on mix up before it leave your phone so nobody can know what you saying.
So what we waiting on then? Let's go earn some grocery money.
If you were exposed to COVID-19, have symptoms, or traveled recently, get tested so that you can have peace of mind about your status. Just visit one of our convenient locations on New Providence at the University of the Bahamas or Golden Gates Plaza, weekdays 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. On Eleuthera at the 3 Island Dock, Mondays through Thursdays 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., Fridays and Saturdays 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Sundays 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. On Exuma at the Regatta Park, weekdays 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., Saturdays 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Sundays 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. On Abaco at Maxwell Food Store, Mondays through Saturdays 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. The COVID-19 test results will be ready in 15 minutes, and the tests are free.
This message is brought to you by PAHO WHO and the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
It is time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. Binance, the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, revealing via Twitter yesterday that it will not make good on its conditional intent to bail out Bahamian-headquartered cryptocurrency exchange FTX, owned by Sam Bankman-Fried, who has reportedly filed for bankruptcy, according to many sources. Several news sites reported that the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission now looking into the inner workings of FTX after it was announced Tuesday that Bankman-Fried called Binance owner Changpeng Zhao, also known as CZ, for a bailout after there was a run on FTX's token FTT that left FTX with a liquidity crisis. When asked about the developing situation, FTX's Vice President of Communications and Corporate Social Responsibility, Valdez Russell, told the paper that told Guardian Business that the company is currently focused on the well-being of its employees and investors. Calls to Attorney General Ryan Pinder and Executive Director of the Securities Commission of the Bahamas, Christina Roll, on the developing situation with FTX were not answered up to press time yesterday. Acting Prime Minister Chester Cooper telling Guardian Business that he's been briefed on the FTX situation, but could not say much more on the matter. Read more about this in today's Guardian Business section. Finance expert and chief executive officer of Fidelity Bank, Gowan Bowe, says that the government must consider the cost-benefit analysis of the Grand Lucayne Resort as the board of Lucayne Renewal Holdings Limited enters its negotiations with a new purchaser for the property. Bowe says political maturity is needed as the government determines how best to divest the country of this asset. As Hurricane Nicole bore down on Grand Bahama last night, East Grand Bahama MP Kwesi Thompson, also the Shadow Minister of Finance, is urging the Davis administration to extend the Special Economic Recovery Zone, or SERS, which is due to expire next month. The order, which was enacted on December 4th, 2019, created 6 main tax benefits for individuals and businesses disadvantaged by Hurricane Dorian on Grand Bahama, Abaco, and the surrounding Keys. However, despite repeated calls from residents and business owners and the business community on those islands for an extension because they're still in recovery mode, Economic Affairs Minister Michael Halkitis announced last month that the order would end and that the government would consider concessions on a case-by-case basis, adding that the government does not believe that blanket exemptions work. Read more about what Kwesi Thompson is saying in today's Guardian Business section. And the fallout from Nicole for tourism as a result of the storm, which has not been overwhelmingly traumatic, though tourism officials are now waiting to see what impact the storm will have on the country's largest tourist source market, Florida. That's according to President of the Bahamas Tourism and Hotel Association, Robert Sandy Sands. Overseas price increases moderated in the United States last month in the latest sign that inflation pressures that have gripped the nation might be easing as the economy slows. and consumers grow more cautious. Consumer inflation reached 7.7% in October from a year earlier and 0.4% from September, according to the Labor Department today. The year-over-year increase, a slowdown from 8.2% in September, was the smallest rise since January. Excluding volatile food and energy prices, core inflation rose 6.3% in the past 12 months and 0.3% from September. The numbers were all lower than economists expected. In your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Wednesday, your market movers, Consolidated Water closing at 362 unchanged. Emira Incorporated closing at 911 unchanged. The BISX All-Share Index closing at 2,600.78. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report. Brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. And that's going to do it for us, Laverne. Thank you so much.
Always a pleasure.
And I will talk with you again soon. Thank you. And hopefully you make it back home safely.
Yeah.
We're going to keep everybody posted on what's going on in Grand Bahama and Abaco